Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell,
Hello.
Matt Murray,
Hello.
and James Farley.
Hello.
We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon subscribers, specifically the Full Nels crew. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Colin Smith, absolute legend, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Tom S, Ryan Cobain, Yul McCall, Stan, Philip with an F, Fred Fenge, Merry Christmas, Bastard Cunts, Lots of Love Dean, and Angry Baboon. They're two new Full Nels members. That's a bleep every episode. We've got to work into our editing now, boys.
Unless he changes it.
Could change it.
But he won't now.
I don't think he will.
He definitely won't now after you've asked him.
No, that's a good point. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the show. It's honestly, it's been amazing. The Patreon stuff is already out for this month. So if you're on a tier to get the bonus show, that is out there for you now, where we talk about. What do we talk about? It was a strange one, wasn't it? We were talking about office Christmas parties. We were talking about Sean Bell's new
phone.
mobile phone, which was
it was
that was a highlight.
I mean, it's right here on my desk. I could show
No,
it.
no,
But
people
I'm not
pay
going
for
to.
that. People pay
Premium.
for it. We also had our TCGS Christmas party, which honestly, we said beforehand, if this is a success, wouldn't it be brilliant if we did this every year, like a TCGS Christmas party? My word, we are going to be doing that every year. That was amazing. Everyone, thank you to everyone that come and joined us or just watched the VOD or whatever. Honestly, the support's been brilliant, and to actually meet a bunch of you people was absolutely wonderful. We loved every minute of it. And I come away from that like properly buzzing. And just
Yeah,
thought,
it's
holy
brilliant.
shit, this was really good fun.
I was a bit
About
worried
2
about how it's going
hours-
to work, how many people would turn up, where the
Yeah.
conversation would be popping, but it worked out in every way, shape, and form.
It
Lovely
was about 2
nibbles,
hours.
some
Me
drinks.
and Sean were going, hey, it's been great. Really, thanks for coming, guys. Matt's like, no, we could keep going. We could keep going till 5 in the morning. I was like,
Yeah, I could have, but it's probably for the best.
I
didn't.
was
Yeah,
hoping that we were going to stop, but Matt was going to continue, and then 5 o'clock in the morning, get up, have a look at the stream, and Matt's still going. That's what.
Matt's still alive.
Yeah, well,
maybe
look
next
at
year.
that.
Maybe
Passed out
next
in
year.
his chair.
Yeah, well, he didn't, and we all had a good night regardless. So thanks to everyone that supported us throughout the year. Patreon.com/TCGS if you want to see that 2 hour long party. You could still sign up now and watch it on the VOD, as they say. Big show today. This is, for those of you that haven't heard us talk about this for the past 2 months now, pretty much every show. This is the GOTY draft. We're going to have a normal show, feedback, news, what you've been playing, and then we're going to pick out games for next week's Game of the Year show. Holy shit. This is going to... Holy fuck. This is going to get serious. For those of you that don't, or are listening for the first time this year to our GOTY content, I am so sorry. It's not what you expect. It is not what you expect. Should we get to feedback from last week's show, Matt?
Yes, we'll start with. I went for a metamorphosis, and I am now a giant magnetic egg.
Magnetic.
GOTY candidates. VR mode for Resident Evil 4 Remake comes out this week. I know Resident Evil 4 Remake won't be on your guys' lists, but I hope James, when he eventually plays the VR version, will enjoy the hell out of it. I remember Sean was playing the non-VR version around its release, but I haven't heard anything since, so I assume there were other games he was playing. RV4 Remake is an incredible remake. As someone who has played the original game but liked it but didn't enjoy it as much as others did, I was blown away by the remake. I hope Sean goes back to it at some point, and also David and Matt check it out too. And lastly, every time I see the theatrical release film poster for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I see Matt. I could not unsee Matt looking like Eggman in a good way. Keep up the good work, lads.
I don't know how that can be in a good way.
I want to see the poster now just to see how
Dr.
accurate
Robotnik.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh
me
yeah,
too.
no, I see that. I do
Yeah?
see it. Yeah, because you're not seeing the chin in the poster,
Okay.
so it does look like little Matty Murray peeking out over the number 2 there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, regarding Resi 4 remake, yeah, it's absolutely exceptional. It's just it's a testament to how mad this year has been. That like a really good remake of Resident Evil 4, one of the best games ever. I think it's fair to say.
100%.
It just got buried in other stuff.
Yeah, I started playing that and then didn't go back to it because something else came out.
Yeah.
See, I played the VR version last night for
yeah.
about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, so not enough to really talk about it in detail, but it is, it's pretty incredible actually in VR. It's,
Cool.
yeah, it's horrible.
So, well, the VR version you played was literally, it was Resident Evil 4 VR. It's like the old version.
No, it's a remake VR.
It's the remake
Oh,
in
it's the
VR.
It's a
remake.
VR
Remake
mode
now,
in the
yeah.
new
Oh,
remake.
well.
Yeah.
Because they did, what was it, last year or the year before, they did the old version in VR, didn't they?
Yeah, on
Yeah.
Quest.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4.
But this is like completely different. This is
I
like
was
the
going to
whole
say, I
full
don't
experience.
imagine the
Yeah.
remake VR version is going to be running on a Quest anytime soon.
No. Okay, cool. Well, I haven't got it on my list. Spoilers, but I've not played that game, so there we
Someone
go.
else might have though.
Uh-oh.
Greg,
One of the
if...
3 games Matt's played. He's got.
Shut up!
Matt is really struggling for games.
I'm
this
not. I'm actually not struggling. I've got loads.
year. You say that, but I
I have, I
we
fucking
were chatting
have.
about it today. We were texting each other today about it, and I said to you, I really, really hope you come out of the hat last. Because you're really going to struggle if that's the case. That is.
Yeah, and what did I say back to you? I'm not worried.
Yeah, but I don't believe that.
Well, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Greg,
Tell you
if
what,
James...
there's one particular game that if Matt chooses, I'd love it if he chooses it, because I think it'd be.
What does that mean?
No,
If I...
because of things I've noticed, and I think it'd be great if he chooses it.
Oh, have you
Things
been,
you've
right.
noticed.
sleuthing again,
Okay.
James?
Oh God, honestly, the mind games this year are going to be off the charts because I'm already worried about Sean and James. I am worried about you two. Matt, I think, like, here's the thing, right? I shouldn't really say this. This is maybe giving it away too much. I'm fearful of James and I'm fearful of Sean. And any other year, I'd think, that's all right, I've got Matt on my side, that's fine. But Matt's not played anything. So I've got no...
Not
no-
true. I've played
got
loads. I just haven't...
Like,
it doesn't matter.
like all the...
I've
all
talked
the,
about it on the
all
Weekly Games podcast.
I fucking did at one point.
all the strong candidates have teamed up and I'm left with the dregs.
Yeah, it could get very, very messy very quickly, depending on my position in the...
How can I view Matt's PSN profile, please? Is there a way to do
That's
that
all
online?
right, I'll send it to you.
Shall we move on?
Go on.
Greg, if James is hosting an hour-long Patreon pod in the new year and struggling to think of what to do, can I make the suggestion that James gives us TCGS listeners a potted overview of modern Chinese history? Bit of a busman's holiday for Dr. Farley, I'm sure, but it's something, and it's something I and expect most of us listening know very little about and would like to know a little bit more about, and maybe not quite enough to read a full book. Thanks from Greg.
No.
I don't think James is going to be up for that.
James is a good...
I have had some
James
ideas
is going to
though.
be up for it.
I had some
Go
ideas
on.
though.
Okay.
No, I'm not telling you.
Like, here's the problem is, right, when we said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if James did his own bonus show next month, like in January, if he did it on his own? And all that keeps ringing in my head was Phil Wall going, no, I want the normal bonus show,
There's no
please. And I
normal
thought, oh yeah, it's funny for us, but the people that have paid might go, well, no, I want to listen to the normal
true.
bonus show, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
I think
I think it's someone in the. There might be someone in the chat. Oh no, that was the Patreon bonus show, wasn't it? Yeah, I think someone in the Discord was saying like, oh, it'd be really cool if like you did like a few months where you each did a show on your own, and it's like, yeah, but that's nearly half the year.
Yeah, and
on
also
just-
imagine if you'd paid and it was Sean's turn. I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
It requires quite a lot of work, like to do something like that, because it's like, you know, if we're all chatting together, you bounce off each other and stuff. If it's
Yeah.
just you on your own, that's gonna
But
require
how
a lot of
about
planning.
if we were to do our own show, but we couldn't choose a subject?
What we had to pull it out of a hat.
No, the other
Going on
three.
searching.
The other three have to come up with a subject for the other person to talk
No,
about.
this sounds
my God.
awful. Let's not do this. And also, I made that joke about it being Sean's, and I looked at him. If you're listening on the podcast, I looked at him. He didn't laugh, so I'm a little bit worried. I think I'll
No, I think it's
Livid.
genuinely like one of my first thoughts was like, yeah, but there are people who will listen to this show despite not really liking one of us, right? Like,
Yeah, I am.
do you know
I am
what mean?
here. I can hear you, Sean.
So you have to sort of think, yeah, but that's just there'll be a month where the Patreon show is just useless to them.
Who do you think you'd get the least amount of downloads? That's the question. Come
Me,
on, James, you
100%.
I
first.
reckon it's me or Matt.
Yeah, I think
James-
you're right, Sean. Sadly,
James would
it
be-
won't be James or David, will it? It'll be me, 100% me.
Only because they're waiting for a car crash. If I do it, that's the reason.
See,
that's
no,
true.
see, I think it'd be me because I'm incredibly humble. Should we get on to the next bit
That's
of
true. It's-
Oh dear.
feedback?
Dave has messaged, dear TCGS Co. Suffix that me, Maria Mendes hasn't yet used. David and Sean's tales of Christmas surprises reminded me of my own, which I thought I'd share. I was never allowed a games console for the longest time. Consequently, I relished any chance to play at friends' houses, and in particular my childminders. My early experiences of games were snatched moments playing Sonic on their Mega Drive and then after on their PlayStation. I never asked for a PlayStation myself. By this point, I was happily reconciled to after-school sessions on a Bugs Life or whatever rubbish they had bought that week from some bloke from the market. Of course, the PlayStation was chipped. But I was obsessed, and my childminder, Helen, knew it. Unbeknownst to me, she persuaded my mum to get me a PlayStation for Christmas. Christmas morning arrived. I came downstairs and I'm voicing out loud my plan to first open the Dennis the Menace novelty coat hanger that I'd accidentally spotted in my mum's wardrobe a few weeks back. My older sister gently cuts me off and directs me to a couple of boxes under a tree that weren't there on Christmas Eve, both from Father Christmas. I go to open the smaller, save best to last, I was thinking, but my mum stops me. That won't make sense without opening this first. I remember
hate when
tearing the
parents-
paper.
I hate it when parents do that. Just let me
Yeah.
open it. Yeah, but I thought this. But the thing is, it was one of those things. Sorry, we'll carry on with the story. It was one of these things that you don't understand until you're a parent. Because when you're a kid, don't open that, but open that one first. You would go, why is it fuck? Just let me, like, if I open that, I'm going to work it out anyway. It doesn't matter. But then when you're an adult, you realise that they thought about this moment every day for 2 months, and you going for the wrong present is actual hell for the
It
parent.
ruins the plan.
Yeah,
I've
it was the
composed
whole
this.
plan. I put this all together. Sorry, go on.
It doesn't make sense if someone's like, "Oh, here's a PlayStation pad," but I haven't got a play. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, but
I
you
remember
can
tearing.
work it out.
Yeah, but it ruins it. I remember tearing the paper, recognizing the text, believing and not believing what I was seeing at the same time, aware of the excitement and joy radiating from my mum and sister. I remember the shock when the realization that I had a PlayStation finally hit me. Stunned, I couldn't speak, the air left my lungs, I couldn't breathe. Literally, I remember getting that PlayStation so vividly because the surprise meant I had my first asthma attack. Have a
Whoa.
good Christmas, lads. You've earned it. All the best from Dave.
Okay.
There's a PS here. I was fine. Very mild asthma. No doubt courtesy of growing up in Scunthorpe. After I recovered, I very excitedly opened the second mystery package, and it was a stack of games, Heart of Darkness, V-Rally, and WWF Warzone. A very Merry Christmas it was.
Holy
Lovely.
crap.
I was expecting a
That is
massive
amazing.
twist. I wasn't expecting asthma attack.
Yeah, when are we going to get to the point where do you remember when I still remember that, like, when you first get your new console. Like, that's still like a bit like all of them. I'm pretty sure I can tell you a story about how I got
I
each
don't
of
think
those consoles.
No.
I can remember, yeah, because it was always a big deal, wasn't it? Like getting something
Yeah.
like that new.
Yeah, Sean just got them all the time. Apparently, he's just
Yeah,
all rolled
And
into one.
tripping
and
up
then
over them.
Yeah, sick of them. Not another one.
Yeah, I can remember that shit so vividly. The weirdest was I remember specifically getting the Game Gear because
Oh.
I can't remember if it was like why I was getting it, but I remember being in like the local electronics store and my dad standing in front of a Game Boy and a Game Gear and deciding which one he thought I should get. And I ended up with a Game Gear, unfortunately. But
No,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
remember it being bolted to the fucking thing, so I couldn't even try it properly before we bought it. It was
Yeah,
like
of course. Yeah,
bolted onto the
safety
fan,
first in
but-
those shops back in those days.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yep. Big moment for us actually because we've got quite a celebrity who's emailed. Jesus Christ has got in touch.
Oh, nice.
Hello, lads. It's me, Jesus. I mean, that's how I knew this is real. Like, because if
Yeah,
no one would say that
You couldn't
otherwise.
say that, could you, if
No.
it wasn't true?
No, you wouldn't, and
No,
you
no,
couldn't.
it's true.
Hello, lads. It's me, Jesus. I just wanted to take some time out for my birthday prep to let you know how excited I am about the Gotti show. I'm especially looking forward to the middle of next year when one of you, probably James, let's be honest, finally bothers to play the actual best game of 2023, and you all look back at the perfectly fine but unexceptional Gotti winner and wonder what the hell you were thinking. But don't worry, I forgive you. I love and appreciate you. Merry Christmas.
Well, you would forgive us, wouldn't you? You're not going to not
It's this whole
forgive
thing, isn't it?
Imagine
Yeah,
that
that's
if
kind
that
of
was
his
the
shtick.
one thing that you wouldn't forgive.
No, hang on.
If
It's
Jason-
God forgives. Jesus died for our sins.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, is he going to... Well, I don't...
Well,
Come on, it's nearly
maybe
Christmas.
it's changed
You
his
gotta
tune.
know. You gotta know the story. It's a big deal.
I've not really followed it. Have I got...
Yeah, but don't slag off Jesus Christ. He's
Have
written
I
a book
got
and you
read
haven't even
the
read
Old
it.
Testament to get the New Testament? Is it?
No,
Can
the
you
old,
watch it in
the New
chronological
Testament
order,
sort
or-
of replaces the old one. I think if
Yeah.
you're of a
Replaces it?
certain persuasion.
Well, it's like a It's like a.
So it's a remaster. It's a remake.
It's a remake.
It's like a prequel, to the.
Yeah, they were like, look, we said a bunch of stuff we sort of regret in the old one, so we're gonna with new
Yeah,
eyes.
they've redone it.
With
I feel really bad because when people talk to me about their religion, if I meet someone who's religious and they talk to me about their religion, I want to go like, "Oh, good for you," but I don't understand any of it. Like I can't, and I'm not being rude. And you're probably right, and I'm probably wrong. I don't know, but I don't understand.
But
it.
Dave,
I can't get it.
You're
wrap my
exactly
head
the
around that.
same before Marvel calls.
That's
Fucking
true.
good point.
So you just do Bible calls or something. Can you there?
Oh my god,
That's God
that's
calls,
a
isn't it?
fucking show, isn't it?
What? Where
We just
where
start
James
reading through the
reads out-
Bible together,
yeah,
and by the end of it,
Who's the
Matt's like,
because-
I think I'm converted now, lads. I think
James
I
James
know
like
people
James
that
misremembers things, and
Definitely.
no, 'cause
loads
I
of
swear to God,
misremembering, yeah.
there were 4 wise men. I swear to God, 4 wise men, and
But no, the best thing
wasn't
about
a
it though
manger.
is any mistakes I make, I can just say it's a different version. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's like millions of translations.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
But I know religious people, and it just seems like we're just taking the piss out of them. Like I don't know. I always feel
No, we're not doing that.
Obviously, we would never do that because it would be massively disrespectful.
but also I like the fact that James's pinned tweet would say, "Look, there were 3 wise men. It was Bethlehem,
I always
North
said-
Star, and a manger." I get it. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Philip with an F. Evening. Delayed feedback from me as I'm in a whirlwind of pre-festive prep and up to my ears in nappies. On the topic of David's difficulty to get into Baldur's Gate 3, I completely get it and I can see why he's not getting on with it. I myself absolutely loved it, but then I loved the genre and 5th edition D&D. I think one of the big failings of Baldur's Gate 3, I haven't really seen mentioned anywhere, is its shocking lack of tutorialization, incomprehensible character creation, an overwhelming user interface that is very clearly designed for PC first and controller a distant second. The ease at which you can fuck up even the simplest of fights by choosing the wrong thing to do at the start. I recommended Baldur's Gate 3 to a number of people I know, and the majority of them really didn't get on with the combat and specific systems-driven nature of the game. Larian would clean up if they considered offering new players a more guided play mode that would let them experience the game's narrative. Having said all of this, if you ever want to give it another shot, David, that fight on Nutalis, where it sounds like you may have stopped, is hard on purpose as you're meant to just run through it and progress the story. Keep up the excellent podcasting and really looking forward to the draft. From Philip with an F.
I mean,
It's
the other
hard on
problem is
purpose
that
'cause
I
you're meant
thought
to
David
run
was
through
more
it.
into 4th edition D&D rather than the 5th. And
That's
was
why,
the
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, it's
rules
when when they introduced the extra dice. It was something we sort of spoke about at the Christmas party, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Chris
Well, 'cause
O'Regan was saying,
I've got to say, Philip, when I first talked about Baldur's Gate 3 on the show, I did mention the lack of tutorials. Just saying.
yeah, no, yeah, you mentioned that. I
Fight!
remember you saying that, and yeah, it was funny because Chris was talking about it at the Christmas
Yes.
party.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh yeah, I just found it. Like I got into the game and I was like, right, where's this and where's that, and I understand all the language
And you want to
because
look for, and
it's into
yeah,
D&D or whatever.
Mhm.
And I am not. And I was like, what is all this? Like, but I'm sure if I'd have stuck with it, I'd have worked it out, or I'd have
Yeah.
watched a video where it goes, here's what you do with this, like
Well, this is it, 'cause,
like I do
I
with most
you know,
games these days.
Back in the day, I played a bit of D&D. I played the first two Baldur's Gates, etc. I thought I was fully au fait with this sort of thing, but yeah, even I was like, right, what's a normal action? What's a bonus action? What's a cantrip? The fuck is a
Right, so
cantrip?
This is the thing, right? Because like what's it called Knights of the Old Republic, that was based that used Dungeons and Dragons like D&D, didn't it? As like
Did it?
and I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
might
probably
be
wrong
right.
now, but they did a very good job there of removing all of that, like from being obviously available. So then it was kind of easier for people that didn't really know what they were doing to sort of get into. I think.
Yeah,
as I say, I get that Larian sort of wanted you to like the D&D rules are one thing, but then there's the weird shit you can do in the world, right? The way the people saying like, oh, is it technically an immersive sim? Because there's like the world's rules are really expansive, and like there's loads of creative solutions to problems that aren't necessarily built into like those Dungeons and Dragons rules. That's the element of role playing where you just say to the dungeon master, right, well, I'll stack these crates up here and then climb through that window, and then, do you know what I mean? The stuff you just sort of make up. It's trying to encompass that, but it should probably still explain what some of the words mean. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and it's it's hard to say I didn't get on with it as such. Like, I never really scratched the surface with it. I just got to the first fighting thing and thought, oh, I was expecting by knocking it down so easy that it would take 2 seconds to get through the combat bits, but it doesn't. So I don't want to do this. That was kind of where I was at with
this
it.
is still the kind of game, all the hype. I can just imagine you like over Christmas. There's one afternoon, you've had a couple of beers. You're like, okay, I'll have one more go,
No,
and then you
this
come
will
back.
be
It's like,
James's thing. No. This will be James's thing. This will be James planning it next year and going.
I'm
"Holy
planning
fuck."
to play this over Christmas. That's
Yeah,
what I'm going to go for.
He will love it. I'm
think he
almost
will,
certain of
yeah,
it once he gets over the hump with it. But we'll see.
Yeah, I got
We'll
access
see. It
to it
might be our
on-
game of the year.
I've
It
got
might
access
be
to it on
our game.
Xbox, but I think obviously if I had a port, I'd play it a lot more. But
Got access to it. That's an interesting.
well, no, because
Well,
that'll give me and my mate like game library share, and
Okay.
he's bought it. So,
Okay.
but yeah, if I'd done
Okay.
Portal or PlayStation Portal, would be different, wouldn't it? But maybe.
Yep. Okay.
That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs, leave your feedback. But obviously, there's no feedback on the Gotti pod. So any feedback you leave, it'll
Don't
be a
do that.
January thing.
Yeah. Don't do that this week. Been a lot of news this week, James. I bet you've been loving it, gathering all that. Gathering up all that news.
Yeah.
Sucking it all in.
Like a little
Rubbing it
goblin
on
with a
like
sack.
moisturiser all onto your.
Yeah. But like James in like a bath of beans. But
Yeah,
trailers.
but it's news nuggets.
Yeah. Like comic relief, it's just all cover me in that.
Yeah, he'll be picking them out of
Trailer.
his ears for weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. So we had all the Keeley stuff last week.
What's the matter with you tonight, mate?
Nothing.
Not into
What's
it. He's
going on?
not
Totally
for
fine.
it.
He's not up for it tonight.
No, I'm
is
just
he?
waiting for you to finish. Doing your thing.
Yeah, but it's a bit
Do you know what I
fun,
think the
isn't it?
problem? Do you know what I think the problem is, Dave? I think
Alright.
we're too much of a laugh.
Yeah,
Too much banter
Yeah.
on this banter cast.
We're in too much. We're in too much of a good mood,
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
And he's having none of it. He wants to bring it down. What's up, James? Let's go.
So yeah, Keeley stuff with the Game Awards last week.
Okay.
Did anyone
Keeley
watch
stuff with the Game Awards. Is that the headline? Keeley stuff with the Game Awards.
Keeley
last
stuff with the
week.
Game Awards. I did not watch it because I
It's on a
woke
bit late,
up
innit?
and then people were already complaining about it, justifiably. So it sort of threw me off.
There's
But we'll
quite a
get
lot
to
to go through with
There
this,
is a
though,
lot to
isn't
go
there?
through.
And I will say is that one thing that I will say is that I did sort of ask about, oh, did anything get announced? Or, I spoke to a couple of people, anything stick out from the Game Awards? And one was like, no. And then I've seen a number of announcements. So I went, hold on.
Excuse
it's
me,
like
I
60
told
plus.
you about one very big announcement and you were not interested.
Wait, which one was it?
Monster Hunter.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. But there was better ones.
I'll tell you what was funny, like, because I heard on some other shows, like, people saying, like, oh, there wasn't any, like, Nintendo stuff or Sony stuff, like, announced at this. And it's like, well, of course not. They're going to save that for their own shows.
Why would they do that? Yeah,
it
you're
doesn't
right.
make any sense.
Should we go through the awards themselves?
This is
Let's
what
do
I was
the
going to
awards.
suggest, because I've got them all here, and I thought what we could do is if I say the name of the award, then you can tell me if you care or not for me to tell you who it was.
Okay.
So
I gotta say it's pretty awkward because BAFTA are itching for us to talk about BAFTA this year for some
They
reason.
really
So
are.
us talking about this is, not itching enough to actually, get us involved with anything. No, just asking us, emailing. James, yeah.
So first one, the game of the year. I mean, obviously we want to know that. I mean, the winner of that was Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, it's good, I guess.
Yeah. So
Well, who knows?
Do we need?
Who knows if it's any good? 'Cause I'm the only one who's fucking played it.
I don't think that's a massive surprise though. In terms
It's
of
not,
like
no.
how people talk about that game, that's not a massive surprise. I don't think.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how many awards Alan Wake 2 won.
Yeah, I mean,
seems to have
that-
smashed it.
That won the next one, which was Best Game Direction. So
I
they
mean,
won.
Keeley is clearly good mates with Sam Lake. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
tell
but
you what else,
a
right?
game direction I can fully. I mean,
No,
yeah,
no,
the
I-
ones they
yeah.
won, I can fully see that basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
tell you
okay.
what, though,
I
I also
forgot that is
reckon-
part of the Jeff Keighley Defence League.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that-
No,
did
he's
you
also,
see
he's also
that?
the only one who's played Alan Wake 2 properly. So
That's
fair
true.
enough.
That is true.
Yeah, so up yours.
Then we had Best Adaptation.
What does that mean?
So it's the best thing that's been like converted from like video game to like other media. or
Oh,
whatever.
Oh yeah,
another-
yeah. I mean, I know this winner, so not hard to guess either.
This was The Last of Us. That won that.
Yeah, the
Which,
Last of Us
fair
is
enough, right?
Excellent.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
never watched it, but the amount of people I heard talking about it who are like, "Oh yeah, it's based on some game." Like, do you know what I mean? Like that was.
I mean, it's up for free, like Golden Globe and nominations got announced today, and it's up for 3 of them as well. So
Yeah, it was very good as well.
yeah,
It's,
it's
yeah.
fucking excellent.
Yeah, it was very good.
Okay, then we have Best Narrative. That
when
was
you
another-
when you see what it's up against, Gran Turismo. I
Yeah.
mean, I've not seen it, so I don't want to slag it off too much. But the
Yeah,
trailers
that-
was enough for me.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
didn't go
I've
down
not
very well.
I've not seen Castlevania Nocturne, but the
I
other
have.
series of the Castlevania show are fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, they good.
I have seen it because I watched the others as well, and it's good, just not as good as the
Is it
other
not?
series.
Oh,
But
that's
it's
a
still worth watching. It's still not too bad. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean the fact it beat the Super Mario Brothers movie. I mean, I know none of us were like blown away by that movie, but I think that also shows the quality of Last of
I
Us.
think it gets better with each watch. To be honest with you, that film.
I'll tell you what else though.
I think I've
Twisted
seen it
Metal
once.
on here.
I
Twisted
think
Metal
once
was
you
good.
get away from the why isn't this exactly what I wanted, you actually just start appreciating it for being a fun little film. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next.
Could have been more than fun.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be
apparently
fun.
Twisted Metal's perfectly good.
It was. I enjoyed it. It was good
Yeah.
fun. Like that series was.
Was it a
But yeah.
film? Was
No,
it
no,
a
it was
series?
a
It's a
series,
series,
yeah.
so yeah.
And Peacock.
Alright.
Yeah.
What do they do?
On Peacock.
The Twisted
What do
Metal
what
stuff.
do?
What they just drive around and that?
Drive around, yeah.
Pretty
Well,
much.
so it's,
Actually, yeah.
it's Anthony
So-
Mackie, isn't it? I think they.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this might be in the news later, but they announced season 2 of that as well as coming. So
Oh right, okay.
Oh, wow.
Fair dues, must have
it's
done
obviously
right.
done well enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, then
Yep.
we had Best Art Direction. Alan Wake 2 again. Won that. Fine.
Hang on,
Uh,
you skipped one.
No, I didn't. This
Don't-
Best
we don't have
Narrative.
to
I
go
already
all of
said.
them, do we?
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying. Going through all these is not terribly.
Are there any big
interesting.
surprises, James?
Not. See, I wouldn't say there is. Like, if you look at all
Well,
these
Hi-Fi
results,
Rush. It was good to see Hi-Fi Rush up there for best audio design.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't.
Yeah, best score in music. Final Fantasy 16 won that. Can't comment. But I mean, looking at the other nominees, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, I love. But I don't remember any of the soundtrack from it.
That's why I didn't win.
Yeah, probably.
What about Cheer getting this award? Games
Yeah,
Free.
what did you get?
yeah, I was furious until I saw what it was up against, and I went, "All right, okay." I've never heard of any of the others.
Well,
Oh no, you
Vember.
Vember. You like Vember, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, Vember was good.
I
yeah.
really like Vember. Vember was
Chance of
lovely.
Senar, you loved, didn't you, Sean?
Yes, really like Chance of Senar.
I mean, the
Yeah.
one that is a bit weird is this Best Ongoing Game. Because I don't know why
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077 won that, because it's no longer ongoing.
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
it has been
it's-
ongoing
No,
for the
it
last
has
2
been
years.
ongoing.
It's not ongoing in the sense of like.
Not like Apex Legends.
It's not a
Or-
live
It's not a
game,
games as a
like,
service,
yeah.
but
It's just
yeah,
like-
it's
When
a-
they say ongoing, I don't think they mean fixing it for 2 years. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's
I think that's literally
yeah.
what I have been doing. So I mean,
all-
I mean, it's weird they wouldn't call it best live service game or best this and that,
Well,
but
yeah,
that's
because
what
all
they've
the
called it.
other- All the other games in that category are all like MMOs. They're all like online live
that's
service
why it's
ones.
weird.
Yeah.
I mean, and Cyberpunk's brilliant, but it's all they've done is fixed it and then brought out some DLC, which
Yeah, it's
is
still
amazing,
very much a
but it's not.
2020 game that has been fixed.
'Cause
Then
I will say one
it's a
thing.
2020 game. Yeah,
Like, why isn't No Man's Sky as a shortlist there? Like, the amount of updates that's had has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know
Valid.
because they've moved on, haven't they? Didn't they announce that this thing? Ah, fuck it.
Yeah, they
We've
did.
got a new
Yeah, we'll
game
get
out.
to that.
They did.
Yeah.
We'll get
Okay,
to
we'll
that.
talk
Yeah.
about that later. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry.
So you got like best indie game, Sea of Stars. Best.
No,
there
James, you got it wrong. Best
Yeah,
independent game was Sea of Stars.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Best debut indie game was Cocoon.
Cocoon.
So
Great game.
fair enough. Yeah.
Very good game.
That was a very good game.
Yeah. There are too many categories. I didn't even bother going
I
through all
don't
of
think
them.
so.
I think there's
I
too
think
many.
no, I think when I look through the categories, I think, oh no, all of these pretty much make sense. I don't necessarily like the esports stuff, but I think it's important to be in there because I don't really like esports. But with something as big as this, I think it's worth overdoing it with the categories because
I don't know, like breaking it down into categories as well of like genres of game and stuff like that feels a bit redundant when it's like you've already done, most of these, the ones that are winning in those categories have already won, like for the other categories as well. It feels a bit.
no, that's not true. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I think, only won one. Street Fighter
Mm-hmm.
6, I think, only won one.
Zelda only won one.
Got to say, I was really chuffed to see Armored Core 6 getting best action game because it fucking is.
Right. I mean, sorry, best action game.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, do they have best action game and best action adventure game?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Okay, maybe that's a bit too much, but yeah, I don't know. I think with stuff like this, it's absolutely fine, and we'll talk about how the evening was run later because we certainly have that
Yeah.
on things to talk about. But should we get to some of the announcements that was made during the?
Yeah, so
During the
also
shoot.
what I thought with this was because again there's like 60 plus of these and I'm not reading through all of these. I've written down ones that I found interesting that I thought looked pretty good.
I was going to
And-
say, I'm going to hold my hands up. James did say, can you all look through this and just highlight some things you want to talk about?
Sorry, I didn't. I missed that. I've been busy.
I've not done it either, yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
apologies.
I watched some, but like a lot of the biggies are the ones that stuck out for obvious reasons.
All right, let's go.
I mean, the stuff I've got down is I had Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, the remake. That looks
Yeah,
actually, I thought that looked pretty good.
That looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've not played that game, then absolutely play it. So it's Joseph Ferrez's game
Yeah.
of It Takes Two fame, and Fuck the Oscars fame.
Way Out. Is it a way out?
Yeah, he did a way out. Yeah, but it's not. Let's not talk
But then
about
it's
that
one of those games. I adored it. I've no desire to go back to it. Fred.
No, I've
No,
got
I don't
no
think
desire
so.
to go back, but it did look stunning, and I think it will now that Joseph Ferrez, his name is more well known within the industry. I think people are more likely to.
Yeah, but
give
it's
it a
not
try,
his
and
game
absolutely
anymore,
should.
though, is it? He left this
How do you
studio
mean?
to make.
Yeah, but the trailer was introduced as like Joseph
Oh,
Ferris.
right.
Oh, was it?
His name was at
Oh,
the
his
front of
name
the
was
intro.
tied to it. Oh, so he's got to be involved in
weird.
some capacity. But yeah, excellent, really excellent game. If you've not played it, definitely play it when it comes out. Yeah.
Then the other one I really liked the look of, which looked interesting, was that Pony Island 2 Panda Circus, which was
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah. I
thing
never
from
played
the
the first one.
Inscription
Yeah.
person, and then
Danny
but
Mullen.
it's one of those
Pony
games
Island-
where
Pony Island was the game where it presented itself as something different and then it evolves into something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was very obviously not what it said it was. Like,
Right.
so you know what I mean? It wasn't like, haha, you thought you were playing a kid's game. Like, it's very upfront with that, but apparently it was a lot smarter than it initially let on.
but it's really one of those
James has
games
left.
that I'm
He
sure
just didn't
it's
really
going to be.
fuck
Everyone's
anymore.
going to be like, "Why is this not on your game? Why is this not on your game of the
That's
year
fine.
list for
we carry on?
2024?" And we won't play it. It's the thing. I think will happen.
Okay.
We'll see. Then Exodus, I thought looked pretty good.
Which one was this?
So this is the one that's from the ex-BioWare developers, and initially
yeah.
I wasn't that bothered, but then it started to look a lot like Mass Effect, and then I just felt like, I'm in with this because it looked pretty cool. It was like a group of people going around, sort of doing missions around the universe or whatever. It looked good.
Right. Right.
Cool.
God
What
of
about
War
the Sega
Ragnarok?
bit, James? That was
That was it.
What?
We have to pause. Matt's gone. There was a weird moment where Matt went right. Okay, we have to just pause
Right,
there.
what happened there was, did you
That
hear
was
me say
really
James is
interesting.
gone?
Yeah. I thought, what's going on as he fucked up? Yeah, I thought something was going on.
Yeah, so did you hear me say James was gone?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so James went, and then, but you can still hear him, I think?
Yeah, no,
we've all-
he
we've
never
all
went
been
on
fine.
ours.
I never went
Yeah.
anywhere.
The only one that went is you on the.
Yeah, I went because I was like, well, I'm going to have to go because I can't hear anyone else. Okay, cool, weird.
Never mind.
So,
What about the Sega stuff, James?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll just continue from this bit. So, anyway, then there was the God of War Ragnarok DLC.
Brilliant.
I'll play that.
Yeah, okay.
What?
We could have talked about the Sega game and then jump back in. You could switch it up, can't you? Cool, on your toes. Come on, Jim.
What do you
baby.
what? For fuck's sake!
He's got them written down.
God
in a
of
very
War
specific
Ragnarok
order,
for free
Dave.
DLC. Can it? This was the thing that surprised me because it was several days after the announcement that I went, "Oh right, this is what." And then I was kind of let down when I found out what it actually was. It's just
Is
like,
it pretty minor.
well, it's non-story related.
Right. Oh, it's a roguelike thing.
yeah, another.
Yeah, it's a roguelike thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Go on,
Well, I
James.
don't know what we're doing now because Matt's
What did you
disappeared again. So,
Oh no, Matt's still here on
Oh
mine.
right, so this is all. No, he's fine on mine.
Yeah, James is
Ah,
gone,
shit.
but I can still hear you, but I can't hear James.
Right, but we all need to be able to hear each other, don't we?
Okay,
okay.
I'll refresh.
Should I refresh as well? Should we all refresh?
Yeah.
This is annoying.
Yeah.
I think me and you are fine though. Oh, everyone's gone. Just me. Hi everyone. Anyone want to dish the dirt on the others while they...
Go on, I'm back.
Oh no, fuck.
Yeah, someone said Dave froze. James is
Yeah,
leaving on
it's all
mine,
a
but
bit-
I can hear you. I can't hear him, but you can hear you. Weird.
Yeah, it's all a bit
That's
frustrating, isn't it? It seems to be playing up tonight. If not, we might need to move to what do we used to use?
Discord or Skype?
Discord.
Skype was the
Skype. Jesus.
Why are we doing this? Fucking annoying. Anyway.
Yeah,
because this is completely peer to peer, so
big show as well.
shouldn't-
Do
not
you
the
know what I
week
mean?
we'd
Like,
like
doing it
it
on
to
this
do
one.
this, really.
No.
Yeah. You alright, James?
Never
Is everyone here?
Hang on,
no,
James.
so
no
we'll-
one can hear you yet because you've come back in with a different
Hold on, one sec.
tag. Hang on. Everyone else
alright, no
manages
worries.
to come back in using the same one, but James changes every time.
Weird, alright.
Right, there you go. You're back on.
Good.
okay.
Right, okay. So we go back to we'll do let me do my bit on Ragnarok and
Yeah.
then we'll move on from there. Yeah, I was really excited about this until then I saw that it wasn't actually like it's not story based or anything. It's just it's like a roguelike. Is it like a roguelike thing?
Yeah. It's weird. Like, obviously, Last of Us Part 2 remake, that's got a roguelike mode. Now, this has got that as well. It's
It's one
Yeah,
of those
I'm
things,
not
isn't it? I guess
sure
like
on
if
that.
you've built all the assets for a game like God of War Ragnarok, actually just sort of turning that to a roguelike
just
mode.
changing the rule set a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not saying it's easy by any stretch. Just like 95% of it's already built for you, right? So
Do you
Why
remember
not?
do you remember the dungeons in Bloodborne?
yeah,
The
Yeah.
sort of
Chalice
roguelike
dungeons.
style. Yeah. It's one of those things where on paper you think, oh wow, that's going to be incredible, and then you get down there and just go, oh, there's this really rich, detailed world with all these enemies here, and I'm running from kill room to kill room with it. I'm not
Yeah.
enjoying this at all. Like,
Yeah,
why
when
would I
it- yeah,
spend
when
my
it's a
time
game
doing
that-
this?
Yeah, when it's a game and a developer where you're used to really strong, detailed
Yeah.
world building, yeah, that stuff
Which
really sticks out, doesn't it?
I'm not saying that's what this is, but it's
Yeah.
the vibe I'm getting. So I was like instantly sort of okay. What did you have next on your list, James?
I had Big Walk, which was
Yeah.
the
This looks really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
this
This
is
looks
the
really good.
House Untitled Goose Game. Game. I mean, I'm not sure what to make of it, to be honest. It looks like it's kind of like cartoon characters in a kind of realish kind of looking world, but it looked really interesting. It's
To me, it looks like a massively multiplayer online game where you go around exploring this world. It had like touches of what was that game, The Witness, about it. It had like where it's a big sprawling world that seems to be full of puzzles that you seem to
Yeah,
be
environmental
doing
puzzles,
with
yeah.
some friends and stuff. And it's like instantly I'm going to be there day one because it's the devs behind
It's the
Untitled
Goose Game
Goose
lads.
Game
Yeah.
House. So I trust them. I'm excited to see what they got next for us. So
Mm-hmm.
this looks pretty good. I'm going to keep my eye out for this one.
See, I also thought that Hellblade looked visually incredible. I don't know if anybody saw this as well. This was the
I
sequel
didn't,
to.
you know.
Yes, this is Senua's Saga, which is the sequel to, was it Senua's Sacrifice? I think it was. But as I said, I thought it looked incredible, but the first game hit a bit close to home for me in terms of because it was all about depression and that kind of thing, and it's like I don't think I want to play this game very much because it looks kind of horrific. But still looked something special, I think.
Yeah, sure.
And then we have the Sega stuff as well, which
This is mad.
This is also weird because it's another one I'm not really sure what to make of it because the Shinobi game looked really interesting. I thought 3D Streets of Rage looked awful, and I don't know how that's even that's going to work properly. And I mean, Crazy Taxi also nowadays how does
I
that
thought
work?
Crazy Taxi looked great.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think this is what I personally wanted Sega to do for ages and say, no, we're going to modernise our games. And yeah, you're right. I think Streets of Rage didn't look great. And it was a bit weird that they were like, we're bringing back Streets of Rage. And we were like, well, you did that a couple of years ago and that was really good. Like, that was a really good version. Why are we doing this 3D thing? But then I looked at the likes of Jet Set Radio and I thought there's so much potential there.
Yeah,
if they
that
get the
looked great in just
traversal
those few
right.
seconds.
See, that could be great. I mean, they'll have to just obviously they will, but they're going to obviously need to massively modernise it as well because it's incredibly frustrating if you play it now.
I think this trailer is setting out that we are, especially with Shinobi. I mean, like that looks
brilliant.
Absolutely incredible. Like visually, it looks incredible. I'm very interested to see how these games pan out. I think there's so much potential to have a decent Crazy Taxi game, as long as they're not like here's Crazy Taxi, but just with better graphics. Like they need to change how that game plays and what you do in it. I don't want to play a game where I'm picking people up and trying to get them as fast as like an arcade style thing. I want a little bit more substance to it. Because
you want some Offspring
what's
tracks.
the point?
That's what you want.
I'll have Offspring all day long.
Two Offspring tracks.
Yeah, but no, it's in the same way that Jet Set Radio cannot be what Jet Set Radio was.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage, Crazy Taxi, Shinobi, and Golden Axe can't be what those games were. You've got some great stuff on your books there, and you've got potential to do it if you're not going to just try and regurgitate the game because you're too scared to stray away from the source material. You really need to modernise these games, and you've got some great. They could potentially have a great lineup ahead of them, and that's exciting, right?
See, also I read today that Jet Set Radio, the original developers are also kind of involved as well, apparently, which is good because then hopefully that will mean there'll be some sort of continuity of style and that kind of thing at least.
Yeah. Out of all them though, they all look pretty cool. But Golden Axe, I mean, I didn't really get into Golden Axe that much when I was younger, but that footage just looked not good to me. But the rest I was quite excited about, so
we'll see.
We'll see.
Lots coming from
and also,
Sega
this
in
is
the
not their
future.
super game. That is definitely something different.
Oh right, okay, cool. I thought this was going to be their super game.
No, we've got more. We've got super games still coming.
Did anyone see the Kojima game thing?
Yeah. Well, the movie / game.
Yeah. I mean, this is also strange. Like, I mean, Kojima apparently he said it is a game. Don't get me wrong, but it's at the same time a movie, but at the same time a new form of media. So that means it's a.
Is it really long cutscenes?
Yeah.
Is that...
I mean, crucially, he's doing it with Jordan Peele, who I wasn't a huge fan of Nope, but I've genuinely loved all the rest of his stuff. So this is Xbox Game Studios. So are we to assume exclusive?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they confirmed that, but no.
He did say no. It was a few years ago that was announced that he was going to be working on with Xbox, wasn't it?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I like the fact he came on stage walking through the PT door. That was quite good, quite a nice little touch. Yeah.
I don't rate him. What about that?
You're wrong.
Should anything else?
I mean, there was Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. That was Don't Nod. They got a new
narrative
adventure.
Excited for the new one.
I thought that looked pretty.
Is that a new Not Life is Strange?
It's not Life is Strange, no, but it looks.
No, I know it isn't Life is Strange. I'm saying, is it a not hyphen Life is? Do you know what I mean? 'Cause they don't have the license anymore, do they? And then they made Tell Me Why, which was clearly another Life is Strange, but they couldn't call it that.
Look, we'll all play this game and do spoiler casts on it. Let's face it. Come on, come on.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
And then Skull and Bones, I thought looked pretty good.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
Oh,
that was a wild.
Genuinely,
trailer,
I thought the
wasn't
trailer looked pretty cool. But
it? Yeah. What did you think, Sean?
I've not
I'm
seen
interested
it. I'm
'cause
not
you've got-
interested anyway, but yeah. Not
Really?
seen it. No.
Why not? What if it's
Because
really
it
good?
it takes away the fun thing about like Assassin's Creed 4 was you were the boat, but you were also the guy on the boat, and you were running around and you were jumping.
Yeah, but I
up
don't
on
think
the...
it does that anymore, does it? It looks
That's
like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they've taken that out, so that's why I don't give a shit.
So you are not the
Okay,
boat.
okay.
I'm not. I know I am the boat. I'm not the guy on the boat. That's the problem.
No,
I want to be
yes.
the guy
No,
on
but
the
I
boat.
think it's both now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, is it?
I think you might
Well,
be
he
the
doesn't
guy
know.
on
He
the
hasn't
boat
seen the
that's-
trailer because
I haven't seen the
he's
trailer.
written it off.
I did
So,
say that.
Yeah, I think it's a
Um,
completely different game now. I think you might be all right. I don't know.
No, I mean,
actually.
I mean, I knew there's like bits where you can like walk around the ports and stuff, but have they shown you like running and jumping around on the sails?
They show three characters walking along a beach,
No.
and I kind of think, oh, is that it?
I
don't
think
know.
that is
Who
it. I
knows?
think
Yeah,
that is
it feels like there's
literally
lots of unknowns with this one.
Yeah, really.
which there should be.
Marvel's
Marvel's Blade.
Blade.
Been in development.
The Blade Marvel game, which will be out on, I assume, Xbox as well.
Well, it's the
it's
Arcane.
Arcane, so
Yeah,
that's
like,
exciting. I think.
yeah.
It's also the Deathloop studio as well, so
Mm-hmm.
that really made me interested because that was an excellent game. So yeah.
Yeah, finally Xbox gets a Marvel game.
Yeah.
Let's hope it is
Oh,
good.
you were about a year late. That was your prediction for last year, I think. Xbox gets a Marvel game.
Was it not this year?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it was last year. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's fine. That is. Obviously, the new Hello Games game, Light No Fire.
Yeah. Which basically looked like a sort of fantasy No Man's Sky, but just on one planet, but it's fucking massive.
Yeah.
That's the gist. Like, this is one of the few I actually watched the trailer for.
Yeah, it felt very No Man's Sky, obviously.
It did.
But yeah, like fancy, seems like co-op. It's on Earth, but it feels like you can do lots of things. I mean, what I just found interesting watching that trailer is obviously they, had all the No Man's Sky controversy, and I'm like, okay, this game is probably so far done that they're not going to take any risks whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I
But
mean,
no,
yeah,
it looked really
it
good.
looks very No Man's Sky, which presumably also means it's built on the same technology, so theoretically it'll be fine when it launches. Did you see the Cyberpunk account like congratulated them on the trailer and said, "Don't worry, you can fix it later."
Really, no. Well, that is good. But I have seen like Sean Murray doing some like some memes or some some people saying, "Look, Sean, just don't overblow what your next game is." And it's like it's Earth, it's every part of Earth, it's anything you can do on Earth. And he was like,
I
"Oh,
will
I've done it
say-
again."
I'd be absolutely blown away if they do it again. Like I genuinely think that they'll have learned a lot of lessons from what they did.
100%.
Yeah. There's no way he's going through that.
I
Again.
also like, as well as him posting the memes about don't overpromise, etc. Lots of people like in the replies are like, look, even if you do, we know it's going to be an incredible game after you've carried on. So everyone's like, look, whatever, do you announce what you want? We know you're going to spend loads of time on it, and it will be incredible by the end. So no, that looks really really interesting. I think. The finals is out now. Did you, Sean and David? Did you both play the beta for that? Or
I didn't play the beta.
I played the
but
beta for it.
I've played
fucking
the
great.
actual one.
oh right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Exactly,
talk about
awesome.
that in a bit. Yeah. Monster Hunter Wilds got announced with a fairly unremarkable trailer.
Oh really? Was the trailer not exciting?
It's a guy riding around on a little dinosaur, and then there's like a load of animals, and he sort of rides around them, and then a monster appears, and then it ends. I'm fine, obviously very happy that they're doing a new one, but it was obvious they were. It's not out till 2025. Yeah, fine. We know what it's called now. I guess that's the takeaway from this. Yeah, strange.
Okay.
And then I guess finally Baldur's Gate out now on Xbox.
Yeah,
cool.
which I mean we
And that
knew it
was
was
it,
coming,
really?
but yeah, nice.
See, it's funny because the impression I was getting from Twitter and chatting to people was that it was very uninteresting. Whereas I look at a lot of those announcements and go, "Holy shit, yeah!"
Yeah, they had
that's
loads of good
great.
stuff. Yeah.
It's quite.
I think it
I
is
just think it's
because-
so drawn out.
It's that, and I think it is because people are expecting that, Sony are going to come and reveal something massive, or Nintendo are going to do that, or Xbox, and we know they're not going to do that. But that's kind of because the thing is these events, because of the way Keighley does them, there is a lot of hyperbole thrown around, around the events, and so people are expecting something massive, to come from these things, and
And I heard that there was more non-gaming related product trailers than there was video game trailers. Is that right? In terms of
Probably.
time. Okay, it was a tweet. It was one of those tweets that I just went, yeah, I'll take that as fact. So I may be wrong.
Should have
But
read
there was
community
a lot of
notes.
people saying that was the yeah. I didn't verify that, so don't take that with a pinch of salt. Okay. What else was said about the gaming awards? The
Well,
game awards.
there was quite a lot of criticism, particularly about the speeches that were taking place from award winners, because people were saying they were too short.
Yeah.
Because they said winners had 30 seconds to make their speeches, and then music was then played to get them off the stage. And for some people, it seems that music was played while they were still speaking. And they also had a sign up saying "Wrap it up now."
And specifically, so Larian were up accepting the Game of the Year award, and they were talking about the fact that like one of their team died recently, and that's when the "Wrap it up" thing appeared. And then Neil Newborn was talking about so he was accepting the award for which one did he get? It was like best actor or best portrayal of whatever. Sorry, that's really disrespectful. But yeah, he started talking about like how the character, like a lot of people from best performance. Thank you, Deadly Darrow in the chat. Talking about how like a lot of people from like the LGBTQ community had like reached out to him about the character and stuff and how much it had meant to them and everything, and then the fucking music's like kicking in and drowning him out. It's very
and not just them two. There was like also like rapid fire bits where Jeff Keighley would like name 4 winners and they would have nothing. They wouldn't be able to say anything.
Yeah.
See, so Jeff Keighley made a statement today. Well, not a statement. He sort of commented on this.
Well, hold on. Before you read his statement, what do you guys think about that? Because I really don't know where to sit with it. I don't know where to sit.
The thing about this is that the show was 3 hours long, right? And according to Eurogamer, speeches made up 10 minutes of that 3 hours. Now, I'm not saying that speeches should be really long, but in a show which, nominally is supposed to be about celebrating like the game industry and developers and things like that, 10 minutes out of 3 hours feels a bit bit mean.
But we know that awards are basically bollocks, don't we? We know that it's
we know only
it's a
too
money
well.
spinner. It's a marketing thing.
That's true.
Yeah, we felt that very strongly.
Trust me, we know about that.
Look, I haven't got a side to pick on this. Like, I genuinely haven't. Like, I would say if I was thinking about the production of something like that, I would say the wrap it up thing at inappropriate moments is probably poor timing. I wouldn't imagine that they would wait for them to get on a sensitive subject and then chuck a wrap it up.
No, definitely
not.
It's not going to be on that.
But also like, but then if they were told, look, you've got to keep your speeches for 30 seconds, and then they were going over that, you go, well, yeah, they're going to start, trying to usher them off because they got the whole show to go to. But I totally agree that the whole point is that to get them up there and give them their moment, and celebrate their work. And clearly, giving them 30 seconds in, as you say,
30 seconds is not enough.
That
this is
non-stop advertising.
Yeah, it's clear reaction to last year. Like Christopher Judge on for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So
which is too long.
One extreme to the other, but 30 seconds is just not enough. Like one person, maybe, like once you have more than one people, they want like thank family and friends and inspiration for the game. That's really, really tight. So I assume next year it will be maybe a minute or a bit more, and try and make it a little bit easier. We all know they have to limit it in some way because, as you say, the show can't go in that much longer. But 30 seconds is tight.
It just feels like 10 minutes out of 3 hours feels like not very long.
It's Jeff Keighley's mask slipping again, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, he's the Dorito guy, like sometimes we forget, and it's like, oh yeah, no, like I don't doubt that he sincerely loves video games and a lot of the people that make them, but then you see stuff like this and it's like, oh no, he is selling ads.
Well, it's also because
that's it. He's trying to make as much money as humanly possible in the time that he's got. For sure.
Because like other presenters got like significantly more time, to sort of sell products.
Oh yeah, if they were one of his mates, they got as long as they wanted. Yeah, but
yeah, it's a tough one. Like I've never been a fan of award ceremonies. I've mentioned it a lot. I think they're
Until we
great
win one.
for the people that.
Then they're fine.
Well, no, that is it though. If you win something like that, there's such a benefit to. If we're not comparing it to the Independent Podcast Awards, but if we had won that, it would have meant a lot for us for several different reasons. One, getting your name out there, getting your name in. You would have had an interview in quite a popular podcasting website and all that sort of stuff. There's a benefit to winning these awards, and that's that is important, right? And especially for independent games and independent podcasts and stuff like that, right? However, when you look at the nature of an award ceremony, you look at it and go, "Fuck off." Do you know what I mean? Like, how much is it for you want to give us an award? You've nominated us for our hard work. How much do you want for the ticket? You know what I mean? It's like it is a bit of a joke. But that's just what these things are. I'm a little bit on the fence with like people have been really attacking the Game Awards for it, and I just kind of think. Why are you surprised? This is what award ceremonies are. They are get your award, fuck off. We've got more shit to get through, so we can make as much money as possible.
It's true. It's the way Keeley talks about it, isn't it?
It's that.
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah.
And it's also the fact that like this year has been particularly bad for like game developers in terms of things like layoffs and all that kind of stuff. And there's no mention of that like whatsoever. There's a number of things that I think people maybe would have liked to have said, that then don't have the opportunity, and I think that's not so great.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
we should
yeah.
mention Keeley's response, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's hear his response now. Yeah.
So he said, by the way, I do agree that the music was played too fast for award winners this year, and I asked our team to relax that rule as the show went on. While no one was actually cut off, it's something to address going forward. So,
I mean, no one was actually cut off. I mean, yeah, okay, you didn't physically wrestle anyone off the stage, but it was still like really painful to watch. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next year, I guess.
The problem is Jeff Keighley has now got to find the balance of trying to make as much money as possible, but also not pissing off everyone that loves video games and his show becoming. It's like such a fine line because before, as I said, I think a lot of award ceremonies are shams, and it's about trying to hide that as best you can, while also trying to sell as much advertising space as humanly possible.
You see, I mean, Dilly Darrow's right, like in the chat. I know we're not supposed to reference that, but like this whole thing about like keeping this short also because maybe they didn't want people to speak about layoffs and stuff. And I can believe that in this case because of how close, like Keighley seems to be with the industry in general, like maybe not wanting to upset people. And what I would say about that is that if you look at things like the Oscars and you look at other events, people do get the chance to speak at those. Like often, to say. I mean, sometimes it's awful, but they do get the chance, to actually say something. Whereas
Plus,
this feels
like Meg Giant wanted to mention Palestine at the Golden Joysticks not long ago, and was told she couldn't, and then she had to be replaced. Was it Troy Baker took her place?
Yeah, I think the future class of this did a letter to Jeff Keighley about they wanted to talk about Palestine crisis and no response. So, hopefully it'll be better next year. I mean, it should be.
Right.
We'll see.
Okay. Moving on. Now, this story is, I've only had a chance to sort of skim over this because it happened, I wouldn't say just before we recorded, but a couple of hours before or whatever. So this is the day before, which was a game by this developer called, it's got like Fantastic, and they released a few days ago. The game was released, and it didn't have a great response. And now Fantastic have shut down completely, and they released this statement where they said the game had failed financially, and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners. Now they've also. Do you want me to read the longer statement? Because there's quite a long statement here that they've written.
If that explains the story, then yeah.
It kind of does. I mean, they said here, we invested all our efforts, resources and man hours into the development of the day before, which was our first huge game. We really wanted to release new patches to reveal the full potential of the game, but unfortunately we didn't have the funding to continue the work. It's important to note that we didn't take any money from the public during the development of the day before. There was no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns. We worked tirelessly for 5 years, pouring our blood, sweat and tears into the game.
Starting to sound like Kevin Keegan. Starting to sound like Kevin Keegan, aren't I?
At the moment, the future of the day before and prop night is unknown, but servers will stay operational. We apologise if we didn't meet your expectations. We did everything within our power, but unfortunately, we miscalculated our capabilities. Creating games is an incredibly challenging endeavour. Now, according to Eurogamer, the game has been accused of being like a scam as well.
It's been in and out of the news for years now, hasn't it? For various
fair old
reasons.
while.
Well, there was this issue where they were using like unpaid volunteers during development as well, and this this is where they said that they had to. First of all, they tried to clarify what a volunteer was by basically saying it was anybody that was interested in in helping with the game, and then they split it into two types of volunteer, where they said there's these types of volunteers are divided into two categories: full time and part time. A full time volunteer is apparently paid a salary, while a part time volunteer is expected to take part in various activities ranging from translating to community moderating. Yeah, so
Activities.
yeah.
Activities.
Yeah, and they said, also part-time volunteers also can offer their unique skills to improve our projects or create new special features, like basically coding, like whatever, but for free. It's what's happening. And and there was also this other issue where there was
It's
a
like
Korean
school trip and being told to wash up and clean the kitchen. Do you know what I mean?
But
Bad,
also,
isn't it?
there was this Korean calendar app that was called The Day Before, which had the same name. That got released in 2010, and they got into a legal dispute with this with this
I
calendar
mean, you
app.
shouldn't laugh. There's people that work there. That,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Should have checked.
But-
It
But
probably
like,
would've been-
the first time I'd even heard about this game were all the problems. Like, there's loads of TikToks with various different glitches and characters. You shoot a character and it like blows up like a blimp and it takes over the whole world. There was one where there was one where it was like someone had just started the game and went, right, oh, there's a person over there. Let me walk towards them. I guess I shoot them. I don't know if they're an enemy or a friend. Let me shoot them. Shot them, and as soon as I shot them, it come up fatal error. And they just went so. Just shooting a character in this game makes it break. Like,
There's no way people have worked on this for 5 years.
No,
It's just not a thing.
no.
I mean,
it's
Sarah in the chat
rep.
was saying like the 100% of the game is paid for assets from the Unreal Store. So it sounds like is it like an asset flip game? Where they've just
right.
like
It looks like it.
Sounds like it.
It looks like it. There's been a few games that have come out this year that we haven't really spoken about that have released and have been absolutely pathetic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like really panned. There was did you see that? Hear about the Walking Dead Destinies? That
Oh
game?
no.
Oh mate, watch streamers playing that, like fans of The Walking Dead playing that. I think the idea was it's the Walking Dead game that you remember from the TV show, but you get to make massive decisions. But like none of the the cutscenes are animated. They're all like single frame shots with like voiceovers and stuff. And then there's a boss fight with Rick, which honestly you've just got to watch it because you will piss yourself. Like, I think this is a game that come out in 2023.
I know we keep reading stuff out from the chat, but there's some really good context here from Digifolio. It says from a co-worker who worked on this. It said, I waited 3 months for money and then they paid. They're very unprofessional, both technically and in communication. They had no documentation, no naming, so the assets in the project were named randomly. Then they had a project on 4.26 Unreal Engine. I'm actually surprised that they were able to pull these assets together to make it work. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like they didn't really.
Well, no.
I mean, it worked to an extent, but extremely buggy or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, odd one. This. Yeah, as I said, I failed to sort of really dig into them when there's people that work there that clearly don't deserve this sort of treatment. And now they're out.
One of the best things was when they kept on saying, like the developer kept on saying, like, please don't say this is a scam. It's not a scam.
When you've reached the point that you
It's
have
never a
to
good
say
sign.
that.
Yeah,
It's
it's not a good
it's
sign.
not
is it?
looking good, is it?
Not a good sign. Okay,
No.
next news story.
So, Sony is apparently going to take over Bungie like completely if it doesn't meet its financial targets. So, this was according to an IGN report, whereby Bungie is currently it's like an independent subsidiary of Sony, And they have a board of directors that's split between PlayStation and Bungie people, but Bungie have like the final say, like on everything. But if they don't reach these financial targets, then they'll lose that, and Sony will then can dissolve the board and can take full control of the company. And so this is why it seems that this is why the layoffs have been happening, because they're trying to like balance things. And I mean, according to IGN, there's also like other cost cutting measures, like they've had a hiring freeze, they've got rid of reduced travel budgets, got rid of holiday bonuses, and also performance bonuses as well, which apparently has really sort of destroyed the mood, obviously, within the company. And they're expecting that if the final shape, the Destiny expansion doesn't do well, then this could make things worse, and there may be more layoffs, so they can try and keep independent, I guess.
And it's so frustrating because obviously by letting all those people go, it's going to make it a lot harder for that final expansion to be as good as it could have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's probably why they delayed it as well, just to really do whatever they can.
Yeah, really frustrating. Can't imagine what it feels like being there at the moment.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That must be horrendous.
It just feels like a cloud coming over and you do wonder how much does it benefit Sony if they take over that studio?
See, that's what I wonder, because if they do that, how many of those people are just going to leave? And found another studio.
But no, what my point is that maybe Sony want the assets. Do you know what I mean? And this was a way of doing it. I don't know. And they seemed like the good guys because they were like, "No, you be independent." And then we're finding out that actually, they will be independent.
But surely one of the reasons they acquired them was for like their knowledge and expertise in what it takes to bring a live service game to market and improve it, use community feedback, etc. Do it for 10 years. For them to, for this to happen, obviously staff have gone. There's big pressure about the final shape. For them just to take them in, and then who knows what would happen to them. That sounds like a massive waste of everyone's time and money.
They definitely wanted the staff as well, because they had all those golden handcuff deals that were put into place when to stop people leaving, like as soon as it was bought. But yeah, it's
imagine if they take it over and most of the staff leave, and then Microsoft have to get them on a Halo project again. Imagine. Holy fuck. That would just be unbelievable.
Or Sony take them over and then force them to make Killzone games, instead.
I'd play them. I'd fucking play them, James.
Yeah, I reckon that could work. But yeah, like this, combined with the fact Sony kind of halving the amount of live service games they're now doing, all the live service stuff just, I don't know, it feels like a massive risk. Huge risk anyway.
Because you would think if you're buying Bungie, right? Any of we've all considered it, we've all thought about it. Get the wallet.
Yeah, I dreamt about it once.
Yeah. I've said before, they probably weren't buying them for Destiny 2. So I don't know. I feel like from Sony's perspective, it should just be like, well, yeah, Destiny 2's on the way out. We know that. It's been going for long enough. Like it's the final saga of like the current arc or whatever, is due out next year. So why would their current financial performance be a worry? Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, we've invested in the next thing, really. So don't give them a fucking hard time about the next year or so. I don't know.
I don't think Sony are worried about it, because if they sort of fail financially, then they just take them over. Whereas
true. That's my point.
The people that are more worried about it are the Bungie board.
All along.
Yeah, because the Bungie board want to keep independent, don't they? Like, clearly.
Yeah, and there were almost certainly probably been financial bonuses for them to hit financial targets. So yeah, for Sony, like, well, you haven't hit it, now you're ours, and people will go as a result. So
make some Killzone games, please.
It's tough, very, very tough. Like pressure wasn't on.
Of man, James. Resistance Fall.
Yes,
man.
do that. Hell yeah.
No, don't do that. People say that game was way better than it was.
I liked the first one.
Didn't it have Manchester in it?
I did.
Oh, you liked it because you were a Sony fanboy when that game came out. I remember now.
That was
when
the
that
whole
fucking console came out. True next gen.
Started yet.
Everyone was on 360 except for Matt. And then I remember the first time you bought a 360 and joined us on Xbox Live and went, "Oh right,
this works."
Yeah, I was like, I don't play retro gaming, so I didn't get a 360, but I've got PS3. Have you had a Blu-ray? So,
I always remember playing Burnout Paradise and there was the sort of the D-pad menu for like the online stuff, and I was like, why is this in here? And someone was like, oh, it's for PS3 owners, isn't it? And I was like, oh, right, that's because they don't have good menus for inviting friends into things.
No, they don't. Yeah, well, yeah, that was a wild period in Matt Murray's life. That
Yeah, that was
you
great.
didn't like. You didn't. I will say, MotorStorm was really good though. I would kill for a new MotorStorm game, but
No, it's no
Not happening,
Excite
is it?
Truck though, is it?
nah, it's all gone now. It's no what? Sorry,
It's no Excite Truck.
it was better than Excite Truck.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Oh, look, I'm controlling the thing with the wobble.
Drive through the puddles to cool your turbo down, Dave. Did you do that in MotorStorm?
I didn't know
so.
that. No, you didn't do that, MotorStorm. Sorry about that. Okay.
Last bit of news is that GTA 6 has done very well on YouTube with the trailer. It's now got the
Thanks to
record.
our help.
Yeah.
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 It's definitely that. Yeah, it's got the record for the most viewed YouTube video in 24 hours, which isn't a music video. And yeah, so there you go.
Blimey.
So what is it currently at now? Let's have a look. GTA 6. I mean, for those of you that don't follow us, it's 141 million views, right?
Jesus Christ.
Which is unbelievable. And for those of you that don't follow us outside of the podcast, I was literally getting into bed. And
Oh, yeah.
Matt messaged us saying, they've put it live.
I'm gonna say,
So
get
we all had to
online
get out
now. Get back online.
Yeah. Our reaction is up on the YouTube page, but it was a strange one, wasn't it? Because there's not too much to react to. It very much is here's a bit of a vibe.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And the vibe seems to be, we're really going to focus in on social media and density. That was the two things that I took from that.
Do you
There's
think
gonna be an
maybe
interesting...
there's going to be some stuff about how social media, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be, Dave?
Yeah, I think there
Little-
might be some of that, but I
little
also
bit
think that they're
toxic.
going to integrate social media into But put it this way, I'll be massively surprised if I can't pull out my mobile phone in GTA 6 and see clips that Sean has posted to his, his social media from within the game.
Yeah.
And
I'm
it
up
had
for
that sort
to
of
be
vibe to
fair.
it.
I think
Yeah,
that would
for
be
sure.
funny.
Yeah, but that just puts massive pressure on themselves, right? Because you look at what they did with Red Dead 2, it had constantly brilliant things. But the amount of times I had to see, the couple that you go in and they drug you and then you wake up in the woods. I've seen that loads of times about Red Dead 2. And I just think you have got to make so many unique moments in GTA 6 for that idea to work that, fuck me, I can't wrap my head around how complex that must be and how hard that must be to do. So,
Well, there was also a bunch of things as well that from the trailer that were kind of inspired, it seems, by real life things.
It was all.
Yeah, it was all. It was
pretty
all
much
of
the
that,
whole thing. Yeah, it's every single bit of the woman on the car, the man doing naked gardening,
The woman with
crocodile,
hammers.
crocodile in the shop, the woman
Yeah,
with hammers. It's all parodying real life viral videos. So it's interesting. It's got the vibe that I thought it would have, and I can't wait. And it's what's been incredible from away from the gaming world point of view is the amount of people that, like, in my life that have no interest in video games going, have you seen that trailer? Have you seen that Grand Theft Auto trailer? Like, yeah, I fucking have. I showed Jo. She was like, whoa, this is mad. And I was like, I know, like, really. It's it's
I mean, it
funny
looks
how
beautiful as well.
this
We've not
sort of-
really mentioned that. Like, it looks absolutely stunning. But then, so as we've said, like, we've been revisiting Red Dead 2, but that still looks stunning. So it's
it
kind
really
of no
does.
surprise that this looks as good as it does. But yeah, really.
See, it's funny because I sort of thought, because when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, this does look really good. But GTA 5 looked pretty good. Like, newer versions of it have looked pretty good. Went back and watched the trailer. I was like, nah, this is a massive step up. I think from 5. It looks it's incredible.
I'll be interested to know what they call their version of TikTok. What's it going to be? It's going to be like
Tactic.
clip clop. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. There's
funny, isn't it?
crazy
Because
guys.
like, because if that stuff, I mean, obviously we've heard nothing about like online or multiplayer or whatever. But you're saying about the social media stuff, getting the phone out and filming stuff or whatever. It's interesting because, like I've said, I said with Red Dead 2, there's a fully featured photo mode, but then there is also your handheld camera, and weirdly, the handheld camera is more fun to use because it more accurately represents the experience of getting a camera out in real life and taking pictures, rather than just essentially having a drone that can go wherever you want. And again, I think there'll be some, like, obviously we can all, we already have consoles that we can hit a button and it'll save a video and we can share that. But there'll be something about that being like a diegetic object in the world. Like, all right, hang on, let me get my phone out. I'm going to film this, and your character being there, like moving around with the phone and stuff and filming.
Yeah, but it could be incredibly fiddly as well. They need to get that just right.
But that's sort of the joy of it.
Imagine that, a Rockstar game with incredibly fiddly controls.
They served a purpose, James. They served a purpose. But yeah, I mean, what a cultural phenomenon! Like, this really does break out of the normal world of video games, and
100%. Yeah,
everyone's
I mean,
interested.
it's always the biggest announcement in gaming, and you're blown away by the trailer. I cannot wait. Extremely excited, and yes, it's out 2025.
Music choices as well, so good.
Tom Petty.
Like
I think his song went back in the charts, didn't it? Not surprised.
It did, yeah. I went into I drove into work the next day and listened to it on Spotify, and I could see them sitting in a room and someone pressing play on that and saying this would be good for the trailer, and you just go, yeah, this is just perfect. Like, I'd never heard that song before, and I know there'd be people like, look, Tom Petty, what? And I'll just go, yeah, but I don't know that song. That's the first time I've ever heard that song.
My Tom Petty knowledge is basically none.
Just that one that he did that I know, but like
the one that the Red Hot Chili Peppers nicked.
No, did they? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was a great trailer, and it didn't have me going, oh my god, because it's kind of what you expect at this point, and the oh my god stuff is going to come from playing that game. But the only downside is obviously at the end of it's 2025, so bit of a wait to play it.
And that's assuming no more delays. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it could be delayed. I mean, they do see. Did they delay GTA 5 and Red Dead? I can't really remember. I think they did Red Dead, didn't they? Yeah, I think they did delay Red Dead. What made me laugh though was I watched back our reaction to it. Matt's head. Honestly, your brain is just amazing sometimes.
What did I say?
It got announced 2025, and you went, oh, so next year then? Well, not next year, but we're at the end of this year, so it will be next year technically. Yeah,
I don't know
that's
you,
what
but
he said, yeah.
I constantly keep thinking it's 2024 already.
It just needs this year to be over, don't we all?
Yeah, I don't know for whatever reason. I'm like, it's 2020. It's not 2024. Just always hearing that bloody the number. I'm just Anyway, it doesn't feel like that far away, but we'll see.
Right. Okay. We done with the news, James?
That is it. Yeah. There's no more this week.
There is no more.
No fancy zone.
Let's get to
more news for the rest of the year. No more.
That's
events
it.
Yeah, that's it.
place.
It's your last news. What's your favourite bit of news of the year, James?
Oh, you can't just spring that on me. I can't even remember.
Let's have a review of the year in news.
Favourite bit of news of the year?
News of the year. Okay. No, was that last year? I don't remember.
Oh, you tell us.
Sean, what have you been playing this week? Should we get to? I mean, you should have just said, "Was GTA 6 being announced?"
Yeah. Just in the last minute. Just snuck that in.
No. Someone in the chat is right. Stadia being shut down. That was my favourite.
Oh my god, you're so mean. Why? Right, okay.
That's good.
Right, okay.
Crowdsourcing.
Right. Yeah, that's great energy, James.
Yep.
Sean, what have you been playing this week?
So I finished SteamWorld build. I was saying like, oh yeah, I've done like this. I'm sort of near the end of like this one scenario, and there's like 5 or 6 different ones. Yeah, they're all the same, just different maps.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, it's like basically when you go to start the next one, it's like, do you want the story on this time or not? Because it's the same story. I was like, right, never mind. I mean, I love the time I spent with it, but yeah, that was a bit of a weird rug pull at the end. I mean, not that I would have had the energy for another 5 or 6 scenarios or whatever, but so yeah, I sort of saw that and was like, oh, well, I guess I'll uninstall this then. Cheers,
Ah.
but I'm.
So it leaves a bad taste in the mouth, doesn't it?
It's which is a shame because I had such a good time with it. But hey ho. Yeah, the only other new thing I've played is so I've had to go on the finals. So did you say who played the beta?
David Turner.
Just David.
I mean, I'm too old and too thick and too slow for this, but I think it might be incredible.
Yeah, I think it might be incredible as
Yeah.
well. I'm the same. I'm not very well. I mean, based on the beta, I've not played the full version. I know my friends have. I've been getting texts tonight asking if I'm coming on to play it from people that know that I can't, John. But I want to play some the finals because it does look brilliant.
I mean, yeah. So it looks brilliant, like visually, pretty unbelievable. I thought, like so I'm playing on the Series X. Constant 60 frames, looks absolutely stunning. But it's so it's team-based, first-person shooter, but it's very objective based, right? The only mode I've played is I can't remember what they call it. It's like cash grab or something. So basically,
you grab the cash in it.
Yeah. So these little boxes with money in them will spawn in the map. Everyone's trying to grab it and then take it to this like point where you cash it in, but then that takes like an amount of time, right? So you got to, once it's getting shoved in this cash machine, you've then got to guard that point. Other people can come across and steal it and claim the money for themselves. And on in one sense, that's kind of it. But also, as far as I can tell, everything is destructible. Is that right?
Pretty much, pretty
so,
much.
like-
Not everything, but there's. It seems like So you can stand underneath a platform that they're standing on and shoot up, and break the floor from all that
So
sort of
like
stuff.
I've had matches where I've seen the objective is like high up in a building, right? So I run in at the ground floor and I'm running up the stairs, and they start blowing up the stairs. And the building's just falling down around me, and I'm just like, "Fuck! This is this is insane." But then equally, there's nothing to stop you just blowing holes in the ceiling and then jumping up through them and then making your way up that way or whatever. So that stuff.
I had a
nuts,
few
like-
moments when in the game that I played. I had a few moments where I picked up the cash and I was like, everyone is around that corner. I don't know where I should go. And then I remembered, I'm just going to blow a hole in this wall and jump out this way. Because I don't think there's any fall damage, is there?
There's not,
If I
no,
remember
so
correctly.
you can just jump off whatever, and it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Like the controls are just fluid as anything. They're brilliant. Feels, I mean, it's not, but it feels a bit Mirror's Edge almost at times. Just how
That's right.
like,
Yeah,
just
it does.
sprinting through these environments and seeing little openings and be like, right, I can jump to that, hop over that, slide under that, and fucking that stuff's really satisfying to do. The shooting, I am bad at it, but feels good. I've only tried
You're
playing.
still getting
there's,
kills
like,
though, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot of skills I've not really delved into because I keep. This always happens with games like this because it's ex Battlefield devs, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
You can tell because like when you look at some of the abilities you get and stuff. I always with games like this I try and play it for a bit. Oh man, I'm really shit at this, and I'm like, oh no, that's right. I shouldn't be fighting anyone. I should just be like supporting and healing and stuff. That's my I'm much better at that. So I think I need to sort of go on that curve with this. But there's three different. Essentially three characters, right? So it's like three builds you can choose from. So basically small, medium, and large. Small one being your nimble, stealthy one with very low hit points. Medium one being your standard soldier with support abilities, and then your large one being your tank. I've only really played as the medium one so far. It's just it's so stylish. The whole thing, because the whole setup is like it's a sport in the future, which we've seen before, but I don't think we've seen it done quite this well.
Yeah, it's like a game show, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you get shot, you burst into coins. And stuff like that.
Yeah, just fucking like gold coins go everywhere. And you'll be running around this like cityscape, and then occasionally you'll sort of look up, or you'll look at off the horizon. It's like, oh yeah, there's like this fucking gargantuan like arena built around this bit of a city that's just sort of plonked in the middle. It looks incredible. The commentary stuff I kind of go back and forth on. When you first start the game up, it's like it's so convincingly done. Like there's two commentators and they're like, oh yeah, like welcome to the finals, sponsored by such and such, and it's all really like slick and really convincingly done. When you're in a match, I found the commentary
Bit
stuff
irritating,
a bit, but it's just loads of really shit puns on like. So when you join a match, there's like it'll give you team names, right? So I was in like, a team called the Vogues, and the lines would literally be like, so when our team respawned, it'd be like, the Vogues are back in vogue, and you're like, right, that's how long did it take to write
Clever.
that? Like, just
yeah.
really weak stuff like that. But it's, the delivery's fine, but it's just, I don't know, maybe the writing's not quite up to it. Just really impressed. It's free to play. Obviously, with all the everything that comes with, there's battle pass, there's loads of cosmetics, but the cosmetics are really sick. Like,
They focus on masks and stuff, don't they? Like that's the thing.
Yeah, the sort of paper crafts masks and stuff. But then like loads of the costumes are really weird and wonderful. Like, and a lot of the marketing front and center is this like sort of ballerina costume with like the big wings on it and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know. You just look at it, it's like, I don't think I've really seen a game that looks like this before. It's kind of it's got that Fortnite thing of like it's kind of nothing because it's everything and nothing at the same time, but as its own identity. I don't know.
Yeah, it reminds me. In fact, in terms of style, for me, it reminds me of Deathloop. Not because it's like Deathloop, but because the first time I saw Deathloop, I got the style instantly. I was like, I get this. It's sort of inspired by 60s espionage in a weird way, and then modernized. Like the first time you see steampunk, you don't need to know what steampunk is, and you go, I get it. I get what the style. And then you look at this and you just go, oh man, this is like clean, it's crisp, and it's got that sort of almost Tarantino-esque feel to the look of, hey, everything just looks really fucking cool, and it's not trying. It's that sort of thing. It's it's crazy with that, and it works really, really well, and feels totally unique. So I'm looking forward to playing more of that over
I was going to say, I think you,
period.
obviously knowing the people you play with, I think you'll get a lot out of this.
Yeah, they're all on it.
Yeah, I mean the fact we always love Battlefield as well, and this just looks and feels so. Well, it doesn't quite look bad. Well, I mean, even like the combat looks Battlefield, even if it's in a new environment. So yeah, I really want to play this.
Little things that you just like. I don't think anyone's done this before, and why not? Like when you die, teammates can revive you. Obviously, standard stuff. But when you die, you're represented by this like figurine, right? That like lands on the floor. It's like a little miniature, and that's where people can revive you. But they can pick it up and move it somewhere else. So like if you die somewhere really stupid where you shouldn't have been, and like obviously there's loads of crossfire or whatever, like obviously in Battlefield or COD whatever, no one's going to revive you there. It's a waste of time. But in this, it's like someone might be able to dash in, grab the figurine, and fuck off again, and then revive you around the corner. And it's like, yeah, that's good. That makes a lot of sense. Just full of stuff like that. Really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, I mean, like I said, I've not put a massive amount of time into it, so that's.
Do you know? Is it crossplay? Do you know, Sean? Was it?
It is, yeah, and you will find mouse and keyboard players, so you can turn that off.
Yeah, that was the problem we had in the beta. We were worried about that and how much of an issue that was going to be when the full game comes out.
It
If
does
that's
like
still
it does
in
come
there,
up
that's
like
a
it
problem.
comes up with a thing saying like crossplay is enabled by default. It's in the options. Have a look.
What has happened to Battlefield? Like, I've not heard anything really about it recently. Is it
There's
still...
been a semi-resurgence of 2042, whatever the more recent one was.
Yeah, I think
in
it's
recent
fixed
months,
now,
but
right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I know
It's
like
fixed. You fucking hope so. Jesus.
It's a shame, isn't it? I used because Battlefield used to be my shooter, like the Bad Company days, 1943, like in the Xbox 360 era, like fucking adored Battlefield, and then just drifted. Like I think I drifted before it actually got bad, and then
we got Battlefield 3, still one of my favourite gaming moments. Just that whole time we were hammering that.
Metro, baby. I've been playing Dave the Diver, which Sean will be happy to hear. I have... Where have I? I've gone to... I'll explain what Dave the Diver is in a bit. I'm just trying to tell Sean what I've done. The last thing I've done is taken a photo of the mural.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, so how far is that in? Like a few hours?
Yeah, not very, but I mean, you got the
it's not very.
measure on it,
I'm imagining this game gets wildly out of control because
It does a bit,
it's
yeah.
right. It's an interesting one. So it's the setup is you're Dave the Diver, and as Sean said before, you're Dave the Diver. There's two parts of the game. There's one that you're running a sushi bar, and the other one you're going diving into this part of the ocean that change. What's it? It's procedurally generated. So every time you dive down, it's
weird,
kind of yeah, it is weird because I've seen basically the same map several times. You know, whenever I've gone down there, it's full of fish. You're catching fish for the sushi bar, and then you're making stuff. And very soon, very early on into the game, you go, "Oh, this isn't what the game is, and the game is going to be something completely different. In an hour or two's time, this isn't going to be me running a sushi bar. This is going to be. Have I got the wrong impression?
Yes and no. There's a lot to it that doesn't initially.
Yeah,
reveal
I mean,
itself.
it's really that's what I struggled with early on. Like it really chucks everything at you, and you're going, "There's so much here." There's so much like, you know when you play a game with like this game's got a clear progression to it. So each day you get objectives, and the objectives have got nothing to do with the running of the sushi bar or diving. It's like go down here and have a look at what's over here, and then you go down there and you discover something, and you know that becomes a bit of a story. And every time you go back up, you're talking to characters. You never seem to be struggling for ingredients in your sushi bar like that. You know, I was really worried every time that I went down that I had to come back with full pockets. You don't like you'll have enough ingredients to get through a night on your sushi bar, really, unless you're doing very badly. But there's it's sort of, you know, when you're playing a game with progression where you have to pay for upgrades, there tends to be a certain amount of money, and the upgrades are like all the initial upgrades are like £10 or whatever, and then the next upgrades are like £100. So you go, oh, so now I need to upgrade my sushi bar, and then I'll get more money coming in so I can upgrade quicker, and that goes up and up and up. But there's about 40 things, different things and areas that you can buy stuff to upgrade. Yeah. So I'm going like, well, what does it want me to upgrade? Does it want me to upgrade the bar or the ingredients or my stuff? Or does it want me to focus on getting new weapons or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think the upgrades to the sushi bar itself, like in terms of the decor and stuff, I think that's just
cosmetic, right?
Yeah. But then like the staff, like is a major thing.
Yeah, the staff is another thing, and then upgrading your staff, and then do I get more tanks or that? But the feeling I get from it is that at some point I'm going to go, oh, that's kind of irrelevant and just nice to haves. I think obviously the equipment upgrading, there's an immediate like effect to that, and it feels like you need to do that. Yeah. But it does feel like I'm going to get to the point where I've got enough staff in the sushi restaurant to run itself, and I can focus on whatever fucking narrative it's feeding me, because it is constantly feeding narrative. And look, I mean, I'll say it now, I'm loving it at the moment. Like, I'm really, really enjoying playing it. And the characters that I'm meeting are so bloody recognizable and lovable and funny and interesting. And the cutscenes are just amazing. The music, just some of the best soundtracks I've heard of the year. I can see why you recommend this so much, Sean. It's really good. I will say, if you could play on anything other than a Switch, do that.
I was going to ask if you're playing on Switch or PlayStation. I played a demo on Switch.
It's on PlayStation, is it?
Oh, I don't know. I assume it's on all consoles, is it not?
I think it's just Switch.
It's just PC and Switch, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, play it on PC, man, because, oh my God, it runs like shit at times.
Really? Is it that bad?
Yeah, it drops.
Like, graphically, it's not the most intense. I mean, it looks good, but I wouldn't have thought it would struggle on a Switch.
It drops frames. Every time you go into the ocean, it takes forever to load.
Really?
And I've had so many crashes where I've come from instant starting up again, and it just will not start up, which I've never had on the Switch before.
Yeah.
Like, you go to launch it and it's just frozen, so you have to close it and reopen it again. Which, thankfully, the saving's pretty good on it, so it's fine. But it is pretty wild how how much it highlights that you should play this.
Especially considering, like, as we've discussed, it's not a real indie game. It's come from a very big company.
That's
so
right.
You wouldn't expect these sorts of issues, really.
No, but it does struggle. I'm looking forward to playing way more of it. I think it's probably going to be a game that I sink a lot of time into. And I'm really interested to see where it goes. You know, I've already seen hints of the octopus and the old civilization and all this sort of stuff. It's just really exciting. It's really cool. I can't wait to. There are some aspects of it that I kind of struggle with. Like, I think some of the diving stuff you just feel so restricted and up against it. Like, it's not an easy game to play, is it? Like,
the
when you're
control
down
scheme
there
for like the harpoon and the guns and stuff is really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's intentionally so, right? Like, it's to get you on the back foot and to go, oh, I've got. It's like the whole Resident Evil hold your ground and stand your ground and shoot thing. But there is a lot of and there are a lot of like QTEs in this, and I don't care what you're gonna say, James, but press A twice. So okay, A. Oh no, that's B. Fuck. And
No, yeah, I
there
don't
is a lot
really
of that
enjoy
going
them.
on.
And there's the ones where you have to like twirl the stick round, and I can't just do it with my thumb. I have to get the other hand and like palm it.
Yeah, you have to
just
do
hate
that.
that shit.
Yeah. I really like it. I'm going to play more of
Good.
it. I just wish it was available on a system that didn't take forever to load and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Shame
mad. That is the greatest thing in this generation with the PlayStation and Xbox. Just the even if there are loading screens, it takes no time whatsoever. It's it's pretty good. Okay, that's us. James Farley, what have you got?
I've played a bit of the Highland Song, but I didn't really want to talk about it in massive detail because I've literally only played it for about an hour, maybe.
No,
And-
it's probably best to leave that till next year then.
Yeah. And although I did suffer the same problems with that in terms of performance, the performance on the Switch is not great. It's
You said, didn't you? Yeah, you texted us and said,
again,
don't
there's
buy this game on the Switch.
It's another one. And again, I'm not saying it looks bad, but just the style of it, you wouldn't have thought that would struggle.
But then
on the
is that
Switch.
because devs are now aiming at better technology and then downgrading it for the Switch? Do you reckon that might be a
But
thing?
then
This
again, I
is
think this
PC
is
and
only
Switch
Switch.
only.
And,
Yeah.
it's only PC and Switch, so
it's a bit strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
less excuse.
But yeah,
It's
but
just
then
a shame, isn't it? It's not a slam
It
dunk
is.
anymore just to get on Switch.
Yeah.
You have to do research.
it's almost like they
Got
need
Steam
new
Deck.
hardware.
It is almost like that.
Yeah. Anyway, but the main thing I played this week which I've also finished, was the Like a Dragon, the man who raised his name. I've
Okay.
finished that now, and
Finished it?
Yeah.
Oh,
'cause
it's short, isn't it? Yeah, you were saying, yeah.
Well, how
say
short is
that.
it?
Well, that's the thing. It's apparently you can finish it in about sort of 12, 15 hours.
Okay.
I spent considerably longer than that playing this game because everything
on.
I said about it last week, I was wrong
Hostess
about.
clubs.
Mostly.
The hostess stuff is brilliant. It's
Oh
just-
yeah. Well, okay. Apart from
You
that.
love the sexism.
Apart from that bit.
100 hours.
But no, I spent a lot of time with this, and it's ended up being really one of my favourites. I absolutely loved it. Like, by the end, I absolutely loved it. And one of the reasons for this is that it forces you kind of, because it has this thing called the Akami network, like where what you have to do is you do like activities for people in the local area to try and help them and stuff. And this like builds up, your level, and then you get, unlocks for more stuff and everything. And but what it does is it forces you to do activities that maybe you wouldn't I wouldn't normally do. Like, I've never really bothered with the karaoke mini games in like these games ever. And this kind of forces you to do it to get to a certain level as well, which is quite a high bar, so that you can like progress. And man alive, there are songs on this now that I know like the back of my hand, like after like doing them over and over and over again. But also, some of them are not great, but they're totally stuck in my head, and I can't stop listening to them. And it's just, it's ridiculous. It's it's just quite funny.
Is that stuff you were tweeting about with like the really, really incredibly hard
Yes,
things
and
to
it's
do?
like absolutely one of the hardest things I've done this year, like in gaming. Like, it's ridiculous, like what it's
But
expecting.
harder than the last level in Mario.
Harder than that, like 100% harder than that. Like, because the trouble was there's one of them, because it's like a rhythm action mini game basically, and one of them you have to get like over a certain score, and I worked out that you have to do it basically completely flawlessly, for it to happen. I did it completely flawlessly and didn't unlock it, and I was like, what is going on here? Then found out you have to do it on a harder level than that, like to managed to do it. And like, I'd spent ages doing this. Like, I mean, Chen was just laughing at me. Like, she was like, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" And I was like, "Because it's not going to beat me. Is why it's not going to happen." And so yeah, I managed to get through it and managed to do it, and it was brilliant.
Did you just say I like that, Matt?
I admire that, yeah.
Oh, you admire it.
But then also, like, they have the Colosseum, which they have in most of these games where with the fighting. But this one slightly different because you like build a team, and then you go on these massive rumbles where there's like 100 people on the screen at the same time, and it's just ridiculous, but really fun and like great. And it dials back like the kind of the like crazy side story stuff as well. And mostly just focusing on like really, really simple quests like you have to do. It really is just like, like pick this up and take it to somebody and stuff like that. But after, because the game is a lot shorter and a lot snappier, I didn't feel I'd lost anything really from that. But the main thing about this, and the reason that I really ended up really loving it, was, as I said before, people that say you can jump in here and play this, you really can't, because the end of the game is incredible, but it's incredible if you've played all the other games, because it draws all of these threads together at the end. And you see, I thought I was done with like Kiryu, like by this point. I thought, I'm kind of played out with this character now. It's like you've seen so many of these. Now, after seeing this, I want more. Like, I really do want more, which is ridiculous, because it not only like offers this like incredible epilogue to his story, like at the end, but also for Ichiban, like from the other like a Dragon game that came out. It's like it brings all of these together, and it's just incredible. Like it's just I was so impressed, honestly, and it's genuinely touching and moving at the end of this game, and it was just great, and so I had a great time with it, and I would like some more, please.
Let's go. Well, how does this game review?
Could I have some more, please?
Did this game review that well, James?
I think so. I mean, they usually get sort of 70s and 80s, don't they? I think, but I can't remember what this one got.
But you would have given it higher. It sounds like then.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'd have given it high 80s. I mean, mostly because it's like because of the fact that it does feel more condensed, and they have removed a lot of the sort of the, I don't want to say they moved busy work, because I haven't even done that, but it's like it just feels like a more condensed experience, and like just made me fall in love with the character again, which I didn't think was going to happen. It's
got a 78 on Metacritic
it's
on the
not
PS5.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the only one reviewing those games now, the ones that like are fans of them, it's like, can you trust them?
So I mean, you got to knock off at least 15, 20 off that, haven't you? Like, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
easy.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I'm really
look,
glad
should we
it's ended up that way. Just because I know, obviously I enjoyed what I played of it. I know you were enjoying it enough as well. But I'm just glad it sort of blossomed the way it has towards the end. That's really it's nice.
Should we just get to it now?
Go on, do it.
Yes.
Matt's just written "nah" next to his name.
Yeah, I'll put nothing.
Okay, right. It's time. It's time.
Oh, God.
It's time for the Gotti draft. For those of you that don't know how we do Game of the Year, let me run through the rules. Next week, there will be 16 games. 16 games battling it out. They all go into a hat. I'll explain the wildcard and stuff in a minute. Don't jump the gun. They all go into a hat. We pull them out one by one. They face off against each other. And the idea is they need 3 votes from the 4 members of this podcast to go through to the next round. Of course, there are many games that get 2 votes from each members of the podcast. And that means that there are deals, there are fights, there are arguments, there is bribery going on throughout the show. That's how we come to the decision of our Gotti. As we said last week, it is more about stopping someone who really likes a game from having that as the Gotti than it is about actually deciding what the best game of the year was. How do we come up with the 4 games each? Well, this is what we do. We pull the names out of the hat. We've got 4 names in this hat, and funnily enough, that just works out. It's me, Sean, Matt, and James in there. So we did it right this year. We take it in turns on picking it, and people go, you should do A, B, B, A. You should do, oh no, you should do, you take it in turns, but then you do it in reverse. Nope. The whole idea is that this is incredibly unfair for the last person that gets pulled out of the hat. Once we've picked 4 games each, we all get a wild card pick. Matt, do you want to explain what happens to the wild card? Because you tend to run the vote and everything.
I do, yeah. So we all have a wild card, a fifth pick. And what happens is from Wednesday, so the day this podcast comes out, from 12 p.m, there will be a poll on twitter.com/TCGSco from 12 p.m. with the 4 wildcard picks. The winner of that, and that poll runs until 12 p.m. on Saturday. The winner of that, their wild card goes into the pot. So there are 5 games, but for that to work, one of the other 3 has to lose one of their games. So someone goes into this whole process when we record the Gotti show with 5, and someone goes in with only 3
With
games.
3. Yeah. It's a horrible way of doing it, but it's the best way of doing it.
I
Are we
literally
ready?
cannot believe that all that's about to happen is me and 3 of my friends are going to name some computer games, and I am like,
I feel
I'm
genuinely
really
nervous.
nervous.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous this year.
I wasn't
I'm really
at all,
nervous.
and then now suddenly I feel nervous, which is weird.
need a
Are we ready to find out who gets to go first this year?
Yeah, go on.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm all sick.
The first name out of the hat. Please, please, please be me. It's me.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Ah, fix.
It's me. Thank you very much.
They all say David.
Yeah.
Number one. Number one. Number 1. I'm going with Cocoon. Next
Big.
out of the hat.
That is big.
Next out of the hat. It's the Faz. Oh, this one jumped
someone just fell
out.
out.
Someone just fell out. Who jumped out? Who was so eager to go second? It is James.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm going with Pikmin 4.
Okay. Next out of the hat. It's either Matt or Sean Guy last. It is.
Oh, God.
It's Matt. Sean's last. You went first last year, Sean. It's fine.
know.
It's your comeuppance. Yeah.
Karma.
Okay, go on, Matt. What have you got first?
Alan Wake 2.
Good. 1.
The one game I played.
Okay, Sean. Well, I should also point out. I should also point out that we don't make comments. I think
Yeah,
is a
sorry.
fair thing
Yeah,
to say.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
We can at the end,
Sean
can't we?
Bell. Yeah. Somewhat.
Cyberpunk 2077.
My initial thought was correct.
Fuck.
Didn't they come
No
out years
comments,
ago?
please.
So,
So it's back to me. My second game is Spider-Man 2. James.
My second game is Street Fighter 6.
I'm less worried now. I'm happy now. Go on, Matt.
my second game is Paranormal Site: The 7 Mysteries of Honjo.
Okay, I'm not writing all that down. Sean.
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, where am I going next? My turn. Okay. All right. Okay, so maybe this is getting a little bit tougher, actually. I'm gonna go Super Mario
Wow, and I
Wonder.
normally get
Super
criticised.
Mario
with,
Wonder. Okay.
Super Mario Wonder.
what did you choose?
Super Mario Wonder.
I'm going to go with.
Sorry, Matt's face then. Sorry, go on.
I'm going with the man who erased his name.
Yep.
Sorry.
Matt.
Go on.
Okay. I'm struggling. Hang on. Right. I'm going to go Jusson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Justin.
Justin.
Armored Core 6.
Okay. My last one then. My last one is Viewfinder. James.
My last one is Hi-Fi Rush.
Okay. Okay, we're getting down to it now. Well, I can't wait to see. Matt, what have you got on that for us now, boy?
Um,
No,
what? Do you know what it is?
what is it?
What other games has he played?
I'm thinking what I do now, what I do for my wild card.
Oh, every year.
Oh, come on. It's only an hour and 49 minutes. Okay.
You got questions yet?
I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm absolutely fucked here. Okay, I'm gonna go. Cheer.
Okay,
Game
Jack, Sean.
number 4 from me is Exoprimal.
So primal. Right, now it's time for our wild cards. These are the ones that we're going to put forward. Fuck. Oh my god. My wild card is Starfield. Next. James.
Oh, do you know? I wish I could do what I wanted to do, but I can't because it would just be terrible.
You can do what you want to do.
No,
You
I
can do what you want.
can't. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Why can't you?
That's a terrible idea.
Just do it, James.
I'm going for Baldur's Gate 3.
Fuck off.
I mean, you can't even say it.
Wow.
Oh no, okay, maybe can I retract that?
Well,
No.
Okay.
You can't retract that. You can't retract them, can you?
We've allowed
never had that
retractions
before.
before.
No, we can't have retractions. No. Once you've announced it, no way.
he's just
Can
doing
you?
it for the poll, isn't he?
I forgot about Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know why. It's one of the biggest
How
games
did you
of the
not choose
year.
it, Sean?
Well, I thought I was playing a game.
Yeah.
But of
That's
course,
what I
been outplayed by the
game has been
master,
played.
haven't I?
Okay, Matt.
Okay. This Okay, I'm gonna go with Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Okay. And Sean.
Well, I don't know, do I?
What, you haven't got one?
No, I did have one, and it's been unjustly stolen.
That's the part of the game, mate.
I'm gonna have to do a Matt Murray now. I'm gonna have to.
What about Armored Core?
I've already done
He's
that.
chosen that.
He's
Have
already
you chosen
picked
that
it.
already?
And that
Yeah.
would be a shit wild card pick, obviously.
Yeah, because I will
Alright.
say this is a ridiculous set of wild cards if I look at it. Starfield, Baldur's Gate, Jedi Survivor.
I finished Starfield. I fully deserve to put that on there.
You didn't like it though.
I liked it. I liked the last bit.
It wasn't James Farley picking it, which would have been funnier.
Oh,
look at the
Lindy's
chat.
just put a really good idea in the chat. But
Yes.
I can't
Yeah.
do it. I can't just nick that.
course
Mind
you
you,
can.
James
I
just
mean-
nicked mine.
I didn't know you were going to choose that, Sean.
Yeah,
Have
you did.
You have been last place. I mean, yeah, you can nick that.
Coffee golf.
Coffee golf. I'm glad you
Anthony.
did actually. I'm glad you did actually because that was on my list. Well, okay. So let me read out the let me read out the 16. Cocoon, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Wonder, Viewfinder, Pikmin 4, Street Fighter 6, The Man Who Erased His Name, Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake 2, Paranormal Sight, Jusant, Chia, Cyberpunk 2077, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Armored Core 6, Exoprimal. They are the 16 games that we will choose between at the Game of the Year show. Our wildcards that you get to vote on, go to our poll on Twitter, are Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Coffee Golf. They're our nominations. This is probably the biggest game playing nominations we've ever had. It's probably the biggest game of playing we've ever had on this show. Like I've never seen. It's so outrageous this year that it's not even here are the best here are the games that I like the most this time. This is literally how do we block everyone else out?
Yep.
This is nuts this year. Look at that. Look at it.
What, for the wild cards?
For all of it. I made a move in mine just to piss someone off.
I know you did. I
Yeah.
had plans for that as well. I had to change my plans.
Okay, right. Also, I like the fact that people are going to look at my list and go, wow, that's amazing. And then look at Matt's and go, what the fuck happened?
What? Alan Wake 2 is incredible. And Paranormal Sight,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Right.
Move on.
I don't know if I can.
Right. Did anyone have a game on their list that didn't make it? Because I've got 3.
No.
Yeah.
Go on, Sean.
I think Dave the Diver. Probably.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Dave
I
the
can't
Diver
believe
didn't
that.
make
I can't
it.
believe you didn't. Yeah, I'm surprised that's not on there.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I didn't even. What the fuck? Why haven't I done that?
Oh no!
That should have been my wild card, legitimate. Oh, what have I done? That's
Wow.
That's
Dave,
crazy.
so yeah, Dave the Diver. I didn't talk about it loads, but I put a shitload of time into Everspace 2, and I know it's passed a lot of people by. I really fucking enjoyed it. So that was on the short list, and Chance of Senar as well. You know the sort of
Yeah,
language.
that's really highly
one.
rated, isn't it?
Really, really loved that. So that was fucking close, but yeah.
I mean, but Dave, you did choose Starfield over.
Did choose
over Diver.
Starfield, Dave? That was.
I did, yeah, but I completed Starfield. I haven't completed Dave the Diver. The
Yeah,
three
you
that
really
I've
should
got on
have
my
completed
list-
a game before you nominated.
I don't
really,
think-
shouldn't
I
you?
don't
Or,
think
or
you-
played
I
it
don't
at all.
I don't think you really need to. I mean, you could. I mean, how long did you play? That was that Hyrule Warriors for?
More than you
Yeah,
played
and that was a
fucking
demo.
Baldur's Gate.
I've got the whole of this week, Sean. I've got the whole of this week.
That's all right. I look
Oh, I
forward to you
just
doing
hope-
it justice in
Yeah,
less than a
alright.
week.
I would say so. The 3 games that I had down that didn't quite make it were Disney Illusion Island, Headbanger Rhythm Royale. But I suppose I sort of, it was good for a week or two. It didn't really do enough to make my list. Arcade Paradise didn't make the list.
Yeah, I thought someone was going to get it in.
Yeah, it's a risky one, isn't it? Because I
It
think
is a risky one.
because it's so old. I think
But then
when
I
did
have
it come out?
technically nominated a 3-year-old game, so
Oh yeah, mate. That's exactly where my crosshairs are pointed at the moment. Looking at this, you gotta be very, very sure.
Yeah, you think we're going to
Come
think
on.
2020 game? Come on.
But I did have Coffee Golf on my list as well. But yeah, okay. There are games. It's Game of the Year show next week. Next
It's,
week.
one other thing, it's kind of
Oh, it's nearly
mad
next
that, like, Tears of the Kingdom, look at the reviews, look at the sales, etc. But then that took, 4 or 5 games until someone actually chose it?
yeah,
That's what I'm
wild.
talking about. There's game playing going on.
No,
Because
it was the 8th game to be chosen.
I've realised now that actually going first isn't the best option. Like, it's not the best option because you get to a point where you're like, I really want a few of these games in, so now I have to guess which ones they'll definitely pick because I don't want like David the Diver. I cannot believe he's not on on this list. I'm very surprised that Dave the Diver is not on this list. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, and Coffee Golf. How do we forget that? Considering how much we played it this year.
Well, yeah.
Obviously
No,
it is
I
on
had
there,
it.
but-
I had it on my list. I
Yeah.
did have it on my list. Yeah, it was there. And that's what I'm saying. So I was hoping someone else would pick Coffee Golf, because but then it might not even make it because it might not get the votes. It probably won't get the votes. Holy. Okay. Well, we can't do anything about it now, can we? I feel awful. I feel shit after that. Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was worth
Well,
it
at
for
least-
when he said Starfield, though. That was funny.
Yeah, but I think James might have trumped me. That's the problem. In the gameplay and stakes, I think James
Yeah,
might
but
have trumped
he's
me.
now got to defend Baldur's Gate 3, which he's barely touched. So
Yeah, I can definitely defend Starfield.
You don't
I can
know
definitely
that,
say
Sean. Maybe I
stuff about
finished it.
Starfield that I love.
I was going to say, this is James Farley
Dude,
we're
you
talking
finished
about.
another game this week. How much free time do you have?
No, I've not touched it.
Okay, they're our list. People are gonna hate us. I'm hating the fact that this is gonna be out there in 2 days to the wider audience. This is gonna scare the life out of me. It's good, but I don't want to.
I mean, I don't think me and Matt have got anything to worry about. We went with our hearts, mate. We're not playing a game.
Yeah.
I would worry about it if you were hoping of winning this year, Sean. I would say that would be a fear.
I was
wouldn't
just making sure that a game that has been it won Game of the Year. I mean that it was the wider public would get a chance to choose it. You see, I mean,
choice.
Sean, if you'd have really
choice.
cared about it, you would have chosen it as one of your main picks.
No, because it's a really good wildcard pick.
Took the risk.
Some of my assumptions that I made in the weeks leading up to this, though, have been bang on. It's very telling.
Yeah, but you thought
how
me and
this
James were in cahoots, and now look.
you
Really weren't.
You are. I think there's something
Still are, probably.
still there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Let's get a few questions in
let's
before we
do-
finish up, shall we?
A few questions. There's no point sending us a question. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Can, but we won't read it until
I suppose
next
you,
year.
I mean, you can for the new year if you really want. Go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Sir Resner of the Savage North, like what you've done there, it says Mickey Disco's reference to the Pain and Wince boys as shoegazers reminded me of the musical genre and the fact that I became aware of one of its greatest progenitors, the mighty Swerve Driver, thanks to Road Rash on the 3DO. What song, band, or genre would you be without if not for computer games?
Oh, well, this is easy. The Beatles. I did
Really?
not appreciate the Beatles until the Beatles rock band. I think I've said it on the show before. I played that game. Like, I thought I knew what the Beatles was, and then I played that game and watched that intro and went, "Holy shit! Oh, it's not just about their music. It's about their evolution, and it's about their personalities, and it's about so much more than that. And holy shit, the music is way better than the singles that I hear over and over again ingrained into my head. There's some wild tracks here that blow me away. You know, it's the first time I heard Helter Skelter was on that, and I was like, this feels like the foundations for all the rock music that I love. Like, it's... you ever listen to Helter Skelter? Oh my god. And then I become a Beatles fan off the back of that. Mad, isn't it?
No, fair dues.
Yeah, I've still never really got into them.
Yeah.
Maybe we should
you
play Beatles Rock
should
Band.
do. Yeah, play Beatles Rock Band. Did it?
In Control, there's one of the little radios you can tool about with in the world. Plays a really fucking good song, and I ended up looking it up, and yeah, it's a band called Socks and Ballerinas, and they're fucking great. They've only done like one EP in 2019. I think they're staff at Remedy. I'm not sure. Yeah, just really good like math rock stuff, and it was just a nice little discovery. Can't think of any others.
No, I guess unless a game is really, really music focused, and I can't really think of like a band that has really got me into. I mean, obviously, there's loads I've heard through Rock Band, but I was, Weezer. There you go, Weezer. Really
What about,
appreciate the musical works of Weezer.
What about
after
Feeder?
that.
about Feeder from Gran Turismo. Not turning on to Feeder.
All
From
that,
Gran
yeah.
Turismo,
Or
that's a
yeah,
full
Offspring
band
from
name.
Crazy Taxi. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
quite
God,
like.
fucking What's It was great. Look, great. The Tony Hawk games were great for that.
Oh yeah,
Motorhead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, holy shit, Motorhead are actually decent. It's not just a man with a funny moustache. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's like obviously there's a lot of great music in Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, I was going to say Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, there's a. Is it Cibo Matto or Chivo Matto?
Chibo
can't
Matto, I
remember.
think, yeah.
Yeah, the really good Chivo Matto song in that. That led me to like discover them. Earthworm Jim 2 has a couple of excerpts from Moonlight Sonata, and I, as a early teen, thought I had no time for classical music, and that sort of gave me a bit of it. I mean, I still don't really, but that gave me a bit of a window into enjoying classical music. Which is nice.
That was a good one.
Banger.
I know this is completely unrelated, but I got a message from my brother. Does anyone remember the game, The Brain Blasters?
No.
The Teller, it was called. The Brain Blasters on the Atari STE. It had this one sound effect that me and my brother have been saying to each other ever since we were kids, basically. If you completed a level in this game, it would go, "Hey guy, you got it. Hey guy, you got it." And I need to try and find it because you've got to hear it. It's wild. Wait,
Hey guy, you get it.
that was it.
Hell.
And we
That is
say it to
terrifying.
each other, and I'd forgotten all about the game. I didn't know what it was from, but me and my brother would go, "Hey, guy, you got it," all the time. And then he sent me that this week. Nothing to do with what we talk about. Sorry, just thinking about old games and music and stuff.
Well, while we're
Reminded
talking
me
about
of
things that we say all the time for no reason, at least once a week, I say, "Stone the bashing time." Now, I think that's from Dude Where's My Car, and I don't
Yeah, I
quite know
think
why
it is.
that's.
Dude, where's my car? Yeah.
Yeah. Like Elodie says it, we're like punching that stone, stone the bit. I don't know why, but that's something I say a lot. It just works.
Right, okay, there we go. Yeah, what was the one from What's the one from Earthworm Jim when you do the end of the level and
Well done.
Was it well done? Was it well done?
Well done. You can do a different speed.
Oh, it wasn't there one where it goes.
No. So
Someone will
Earthworm Jim
recognise
1,
that.
it was Jim saying groovy, and in Earthworm
Yeah.
Jim 2, it was the cows saying well done.
Dave, can you do that sound
Right,
again?
okay.
But I always like the
Yeah,
music in
one
Earthworm
of them
Jim
goes.
1.
How do you spell that for the episode title?
I don't know. I don't know. Someone tell me what that's from because I thought it was Earthworm Jim, but maybe not. Okay.
Sorry,
What were you
James,
saying, James?
you were going to say something about Earthworm Jim.
No, with the like when you beat Andy Asteroids or whatever, and he did the that was pretty good. Enjoyed
Loads
that.
of great music in that. Not composed by Tommy Tallarico.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Joey, it's
You're
always
right.
Joey.
Next question
Okay.
comes from Oods, who says, "Good day all, loving the show and looking forward to the Game of the Year show. One of the biggest pieces of news I saw that wasn't covered last week was that Sony was removing access to digital content. Although it was TV shows, how long do we think it'll be before we see someone doing this to games? Keep up the good stuff and Merry Christmas."
Already happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does.
well, I mean,
So, yeah.
did they ever? I mean, I know things get pulled from the store or whatever. When like Outrun 2 is a major casualty of this. The license with Ferrari ran out, so it disappears off all the shops. But if you own it, you still have it. Whereas I don't know if this TV thing is any different. Does this mean?
No, this is different because you can't. Because the thing is like because I remember on Xbox I had a whole bunch of games that were like delisted. Like you can't see them in the library anymore. But if you go through your purchase history, you can still download them. Like it's still possible to do that. Whereas with this, you can't even do that, which is pretty rubbish,
That
I
is
guess.
pretty atrocious.
Yeah,
yeah,
that sucks.
really shit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like if they were willing to refund you for that stuff that they're taking off the store, that's one thing. But
Still
to just
bollocks,
take it off
though.
and you're screwed.
Like just from a preservation.
Yeah, it's still
point of
bollocks.
view, like,
But yeah,
it's
yeah.
wank.
yeah, it is crap. Yeah, I what has happened with games on a mass scale? You'd hope not, but who knows? Like who knows? It's
I mean,
only go
we've
bust.
had-
That's it.
We've
Isn't it?
had like songs patched out of GTA 4 and stuff. Not the end of the
Sure.
world, but still kind of shit. I don't know.
Yep.
Thin end of the wedge, isn't it?
Yeah, there's people in the chat
yeah,
saying
yeah.
in Moon Biscuit, about PT, Like,
Yeah.
can't get hold of that unless you've got, even if you had it at a time, unless it's
it
on
was
your
like
console.
a free demo,
can't get it.
right? So
I was going to say,
like,
yeah, but
annoyingly,
still.
the get out with PT is like, well, you never actually paid for it, so it's not quite the same, I guess. But
Oh,
yeah,
I paid
again,
for it. I paid
You
for
did?
it, right? Trust
Yeah.
me, I paid.
spiritually
that GIF
and emotionally.
of you clawing at your own face lives. I love it.
Scary, isn't it?
But then, yeah, and then obviously the Destiny 2 stuff. Yeah, Destiny 2, like there's stuff in that you can't access. But yeah, but they got away with it, right?
They did.
Overall.
They did.
Yeah, because there are whole DLC packs. That's it. I bought it. Can't access it now. What a
but
joke.
Yeah, I suppose we haven't, as far as I'm aware, we haven't yet seen an example of a game you have bought that you can no longer access, as far as I'm aware. I mean, obviously there's like MMOs and stuff that the servers shut down or whatever. Yeah.
It doesn't affect me though, because I buy 2 copies of everything and then I put the other copy in the bank for safekeeping.
Yeah, Bank
So
of England. Little
I've
vault.
got it all ready whenever I want to play or listen to or watch. So Gotta be thinking ahead
it's
at all
weird
times.
because obviously we've all sort of slept walked into this, the digital future, and like I very rarely buy stuff physically, and now I'm increasingly thinking maybe I should.
But then
You
also
never
you got stuff like Alan Wake 2 that they didn't even. Have they even
That's true.
released a
Yeah, there is no
release?
physical.
There's
version.
none, was there? Yeah.
No. Digital only, baby.
Which again, I see why that makes sense from the developer's point of view. Like it's more efficient, but yeah. Right. Last one is from Zach Kettle. Says, my question may be a little boring and technical, so feel free to leave it out. But I was sat on the toilet thinking about my favourite gaming dads. I think he means us. And the question popped into my head. Recently, you've been saying that you're gaining far more listeners. By the way, congrats, you definitely deserve it. But I was wondering how you get that data. To explain, I use quite a shit, not very known podcast app. Some would say the Soundpeats of podcast apps.
Yeah, yes.
I probably should change it, but I'm stuck in the habit of using it. Does each app, no matter how small, send you the data? Or do you see the main numbers from big places like Spotify, etc., and use that to gauge general trends? Again, probably a boring question, but I'm always interested in the behind-the-scenes running of my favourite things. All the best. Thanks for being natural. Zach Kettle, age 29 and a half. Matt.
Do you want
We
me to
make
take
it
this?
up, baby. No.
My understanding is that Podbean does the majority of the services.
But it's always an imprecise science, isn't it? No matter what.
Yes.
Because some people stream the show bit by bit. Some people download it. Some people download it and then don't listen to it. Or, like it's all a bit weird. And as you say, there's all sorts of different providers. There's Spotify as well. So, yeah.
There's Spotify separate, is it? So the figures
No,
that you
I
usually
mean,
pick
that's
up?
in there as a download source. So when I say download source, I assume means
okay.
streaming. I mean, yeah, well, we have like absolutely loads of apps here, really. And there's also an unknown for like the really, really tiny ones. But yeah, loads of these I haven't even heard of. And it will say how many listeners we got. But obviously, it counts all the biggies, counts streams. We also have separate analytics through Spotify as well if we want to go a bit deeper. But yeah, Podbean, our podcast host, gives us everything we need in terms of download sources.
Oh, really? I thought it didn't give us Spotify.
It does. Maybe it's a recent addition, but
That's probably why we thought it's gone up then.
Oh, that might explain it, actually.
No, I
That
think
might
it was more
explain it.
gradual than that, right? It was like over a long period that it was.
Well, yeah, but it was only over the period of about 3 months that we suddenly fucking started smashing it. It was weird.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe they've started. The communication around it isn't that clear, is it?
It's not great.
Trying to work out if somebody sort of asks how many listeners you have. I mean, it's not something we publish anyway, but even then you'd be like, well, I guess this, but then there's also this, and that might not count. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
but then
yeah,
we also,
it is a bit
say
difficult.
like obviously we stream the show, and then between Monday night and Wednesday morning, there'll be like 300-400 people will watch the archive of this stream on Tuesday,
Right.
which is like kind of amazing. Obviously, that people go out of the way to do that. So there's other little pockets that I guess you. But then some people might watch that and then download it. You never know. Like,
big fans like Shy and Ben. There's all that sort of stuff. I think quite a good metric for us is not a number, but so the iTunes charts are generally a joke. Like they're based on factors that make no sense.
Well,
They
steady
factor
on.
in stuff that it is true though, isn't it? It makes no sense. But then they do have an episode download chart, and every Thursday, well, we launch on a Wednesday, but every Thursday we're like in the top 5. It's just
Yeah.
it's always one of the most popular shows that's downloaded in our category.
Top
for
5,
that,
top 10, just in
that
case anyone
day,
starts
yeah.
checking.
yeah. No, we've been like 4th.
We have,
5th
yeah, but
recently,
yeah.
right?
I was like,
So
well,
that's
actually,
always
you're
a good
9 when
sign.
I checked. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it lasts like a day or so. There, it doesn't, it doesn't stay there for more because obviously most of your downloads go in the first day you're uploading. But to answer your question, yes, you have a podcast provider, so we pay them monthly. I think is it monthly or is it yearly? We pay
Annual.
Podbean. Yes, we've got an annual sub for Podbean. They give us each. They give us like a total figure, and that's sort of essentially what you're going for. But you can top it up with different places, like say Twitch and YouTube. That pushes it up a little bit more. But we're
Yeah,
very happy
I'm-
with our listening figures. I think it's safe to say,
Yeah,
aren't we?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
considering.
I mean, I log into Podbean every single day to look at the numbers and stuff.
Do you
I find
really?
it- Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you only
Like,
really post about it in a group chat like every 3 or 4 months now. Like you don't. It's not a constant thing that you're talking to.
I
us
just
about,
assume
is
you
it?
lot were bored of it, so I didn't bother. But yeah, but it's
always
interesting. Like, there's
fascinating-
been like a
Sorry.
fair few people downloading the old Game of the Year shows, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. They're like going back
Oh,
and
you
listening.
can see that going up this
Yeah,
week.
like listening.
Oh, right.
We get like downloads in the last top 10 downloaded episodes in the last month or so. It's like, oh, okay, cool. People going back and listening to the old ones. That's cool.
And it's always interesting, and I've never go into specifics because it would be gross, but like how much certain guests affect it as well. Like it's never what you think, is it?
No, it doesn't
wild.
make a massive difference, does it? Guess
Well,
for
some
us?
do, but again, not necessarily
Really?
people you would think. Yeah.
Like when I'm on, yeah.
Hey. And on that note, let's get to the socials, Matthew.
Yes, no stream on Thursday, but this Friday. Actually, no. You know what? We'll come back to the streaming. Let's talk about the Gotti poll. I think that's arguably the bigger bit of the week. So the day this podcast comes out, if you're listening to this when this comes out on Wednesday, from 12 p.m. today, there will be a Twitter poll on twitter.com/TCGSco. There'll be the 4 wild cards there, as we listed earlier. Vote for your favourite, and that poll the poll goes until 12 p.m. Saturday. And then we'll have the wild card winner, and that will go into the Gotti recording, a Gotti show recording, which we'll do later on. So that's the big thing. Go to twitter.com/TCGSco. I could put it on Threads, but I don't think I'm going to bother
That's the
because I'll
point.
have to collate both. And
What
so just
about
go
Blue,
to Twitter.
What about Blue Sky, Matt?
Yeah, I'm not doing it. or co-host, yeah. Anyway, that's the biggie. Wednesday, 12 p.m. twitter.com/TCGSco. Go there and vote for your wild card until Saturday at 12. And then we'll record the Gotti show at some point in the next few days. Stream wise, yes, no stream on Thursday. On Friday, James is streaming Not for Broadcast, the PSVR 2 game. What else do you know about that game, James? I mean, it looks perfect, frankly, but
I know very little about it apart from the trailer, which looked brilliant. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it actually.
sweet. Yeah, so that's Friday night at 9 p.m. And a special Christmas stream, Thursday, the 22nd. Sean Bell performs in the Trombone Champ Christmas concert. This is going to be live only because there will be copyrighted material
It's going to be
in the form of music
wall-to-wall.
for this stream. So watch it live or don't watch it at all because the VOD will be basically muted and deleted from YouTube. So it's live for one night only. That's Thursday, 22nd of December, 9 p.m, twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you miss all them live, go to YouTube. You can find the VODs, apart from that one I just mentioned. If you've got Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime Gaming, if you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, connect your Twitch account with Amazon account, and then you get a free sub every month. Give it to us. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who has done that already. The Patreon is patreon.com/TCGS. Like David said at the beginning, our bonus show and our Christmas party are live already, so you can watch them at the appropriate tiers. The website is tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord, community, store, socials, podcasts, you name it.
Thank you so much for living it. Big show next week. The
Last
Game
one
of
of
the
the
Year
year.
show.
I feel sick.
So do I, man. So do I. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Sorry. we should. I mean, we're not doing it live. Just to clarify,
Oh,
there will
yeah,
be no
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like we're not doing the
Too
Gotti
hot.
show
No
live.
live
Too
show.
hot for Twitch.
No,
So
No,
it'll
it's
just
too
be
hot for
on
Twitch.
the following Wednesday, as it used to be, or is for
Correct.
some people.
we'll see you there. Take care. Love you.
Ta-ra.
Goodbye.
Bye.